Dropping that culture. 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 Dropping that culture.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Dropping That Culture with JD and AJ. I'm JD.
I'm AJ.
And welcome again to another beautiful week here in 2020. This past week was JD Belts Appreciation Day. First off, I want to thank all my friends and family who were nice enough to spread the kind words and spread the news about JD Belts Appreciation Day. I really, really did appreciate it. Not to beat a dead horse here, but it was really good. It was really nice. Like, the reason I do JD Belts Appreciation Day is kind of like almost like a gauge of like how much goodwill have I put out in the year. And like I said, my phone blew up that entire day.
Well, it's nice to know you appreciate being appreciated.
Yeah, I really do. but more importantly is the fact that, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing something right, that people actually want to say, hey, happy birthday, you know what I'm saying, like fucking, you know what I'm saying, congratulations on everything you're doing, that kind of thing. It really feels good, so it was really nice. Yeah. And then, of course, you went out of town with the family.
But at least we got our party in before then.
Damn right we did.
Had a nice little watch along last week to one of the greatest, if not the greatest, MCU movie ever.
Yeah, fucking Blade, baby.
And all the paper in the streets of LA.
I love that name, by the way. There's paper in the streets of LA.
We might have to turn that into another movie.
I'm dead.
That's a good name. It's a good line.
It's paper in the streets of LA. That is a really good line.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But also, there's a new development on the family front in terms of like part of a podcast family here. So
yeah, that's true. Actually, Dean Jackson, who some of you probably know or maybe don't know, is my father. He's also the deputy executive director of the Cold Case Foundation. And while I was out in Utah, I worked with him and helped them get set up so that they're going to start doing some podcasts now. Those guys are doing God's work. They're out there working cold cases, missing persons, murder investigations, some of this stuff that people have been trying to get answers on for 40 years. Which, I mean, it's heartbreaking to see, but it's good to know that those guys are out there doing this and working this kind of stuff. So they just got their approval for Apple. So they're on Apple Podcasts, they're on Podbean, and I think they got to put out another 4 or so, and then they'll be on Spotify. But these guys, like Greg, who's the executive director, he's retired FBI profiler. He's been face-to-face with some of the worst guys out there, and honestly, he's caught them. If you like, anything like... what's that? Mindhunter. It's out on Netflix right now. If that's your jam, you're going to love this podcast because it's the real guys talking about real cases and real things they do.
What's the name of it?
It's just Cold Case Foundation Podcast.
All right, so folks, if you ever get a chance, if you're on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts and whatnot, go and check out a member of the Dropping That Culture family, the Cold Case Files?
Cold Case Foundation.
Cold Case Foundation Podcast.
Cold Case Foundation is important because if you do Cold Case Files, I don't know who those people are. I can't vouch for them one way or another. Cold Case Foundation.
Getcha.
Those guys are legit. You go to their website, check them out, coldcasefoundation.org. They're a huge growing network of guys that are out there chasing down bad guys and putting them behind bars. All
right, so again, check out Cold Case Foundation, folks. And also, since we're going to talk about different things, let's talk about our sponsors. Now, of course, a regular sponsor of the show, Belserverse, located on Facebook and Instagram. Please check out the Belserverse's pages on both of those platforms. And also check out the Dropping That Culture page on Facebook. Like I said, we do a lot of interaction. We've been getting a lot of hits lately, mainly because of weirdo shit that AJ's been putting on there, particularly like weirdo pictures of AJ. that picture of you.
Which one? Oh.
What you mean, which one? The roasting one.
The one of me, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, because I get the statistics on that. That's probably like one of the posts that have gotten the most attention is that one thing of you getting roasted.
It is the worst photo of me ever, and I don't know why or how that was taken and why they... Literally, I was at this event... This professional-ass photographer sitting over there. Yeah. They have us all come in. It was like, I remember what it was. It was some deal for like teachers or whatever. I don't remember what it was. It was some sort of like a, what do you call it, a job fair kind of a thing. So I was just there hanging out. My wife was doing her thing. She's walking around. They said, oh, so you're attending, you get a free photo. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Sat down. That's why not. How in the hell they thought that was a good look? I mean, I was hamming a tiny bit, but my God, that is about the worst thing I've ever seen.
Dude, you look fucking crazy in that picture.
I know, right? Well, hey, I mean, listen to the podcast. I hang out with you.
I was saying, though, you look fucking nuts.
That's actually the better of the two.
That's why I love that. I was like, dude, you look fucking crazy. Oh man, please go check out the Droppin' That Culture Facebook page. And also check out some Belsaverse merch at teespring.com. Mm-hmm. That is teespring.com. Again, we have a little sale right now, or a little offer for 20% off. If you put in the name Belser85, you get 20% off of all apparel for Belsaverse. Please check that out. Please support the cause. And also our other sponsor,
ushooker.com. Mm-hmm. For all of your rugby and hooker needs, you can get t-shirts, mugs, hats, jackets, hoodies. We got it all. And actually, we're going to be doing a discount as well coming up actually this week to start off and kick off MLR, which is actually going to its third week now. Mm-hmm. 25% off. Code is going to be MLR 2020.
Nice.
MLR 2020. So that's M as in major, mm-hmm. L as in league, R as in rugby.
Yeah.
Get in there, get yourself some U.S. Hooker merchandise, mm-hmm. learn the amazing sport of rugby, and have a blast.
All right, cool. Now, last week we had to kind of speed along because of the fact I actually had a gig that was an early morning shoot in Lancaster, which went very well, by the way, and we had a lot of fun. It was actually a country music shoot for this artist, Tim Hicks, Canadian country music singer. The song comes out in a couple weeks. I can't really say until it comes out, but it's going to be really fun.
It'll end up on the both the Belserverse page and Droppin' That Culture. For sure.
Oh yeah, y'all see it. Y'all will see it.
You're gonna see it.
You'll see it. But because of the fact, I actually have another music video shoot tomorrow in Venice Beach, but it's not an
early call.
It's not an early call at all. So we're gonna go ahead and bring back some of our regular segments on the show. First off, 7 Degrees of Eddie Murphy, where I can connect. Any major American film star off of memory right here live to the great Eddie Murphy. Like I said, it's a version of the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but I just like this version better. Now, AJ, got a couple names for me tonight?
Alec Baldwin. We're going to start it off.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Alec Baldwin was, I'm trying to think of the wide range of Alec Baldwin movies. I'm trying to get out the obvious choices here. Good one. Alec Baldwin is in the Departed with Anthony Anderson. Anthony Anderson is in Life with Eddie Murphy.
That was pretty quick.
Yep.
I'm going to keep it with the A's for a second. Alan Alda.
Alan Alda. Ugh.
That one's 1 degree away, but I'll see if you pick it up.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay. Alan Alda was in California Suite with Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda was in California Suite with, not Jane Fonda. Let's go with the obvious one, Richard Pryor. Alan Alda was in California Suite with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy.
Dude, I was actually going even more recent than that.
Oh, yeah, Tower Heist.
Exactly. The one that we've gone back to as a Nexus multiple times.
I actually thought about that, but I was like, you know what, I want to go another route.
That was a good route.
So yeah. All right, one more.
We were talking about some interesting kind of one-hit wonders as far as the feature film side goes. I'm going to throw out Ice-T.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I got a good one. That's super easy. Ice-T was in New Jack City with Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is in Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy.
Without Dolomite, because that's brand new.
Okay.
I want to see if you can get there.
I still can.
Okay.
I still can. Okay. Ice-T was in Ricochet with John Lithgow. John Lithgow was in... let's go to not a traditional route. John Lithgow was in Santa Claus the Movie with Dudley Moore. Dudley Moore was in Best Defense with Eddie Murphy. Yeah,
I was really hoping you'd find a way through Tank Girl.
No.
Because that's as far as I'm concerned, that's Ice-T's best feature film role.
As soon as I saw in my head Santa Claus the Movie, I was like, "Fuck that! No, I'm going that route." But nobody talks about Santa Claus the Movie. It's not a bad movie.
Nobody talks about Tank Girl.
Yeah, I mean,
which is messed up. It's ridiculous. But
I like Lori Petty. It's not my favorite role of hers. Actually, my favorite Lori Petty thing is actually in the Army now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you that. But I have to say, Tank Girl overall, it's so ridiculous. It's so bad that it's good. The whole thing with like the water bottles
Yeah.
and like these half kangaroo crazy fucking like special forces guys. Like it's out of this world. They must have been out of their minds.
I saw it once when I was like really young, and I never saw it again. But I know it's based on a comic though. That's all I know off the top of my head of Tank Girl.
Hey, I've got it on DVD if you want to borrow it.
It's probably not going to happen, but nice to know you have it on DVD. All right, so that was 7 Degrees of Eddie Murphy. Now let's bring back another favorite, WWBS. What would Busey say? Nice little rambling from the mind of the great Gary Busey. Now, what is a subject that Gary can rant about tonight, AJ?
I always wondered what Gary Busey thinks about babies.
All right, here we go. Babies. I'm tell you something about babies. I love making them. That's the one part I love about babies. Just the whole intricacy of that. But once they actually get spit out, it's weird initially because I'm very frazzled around children. So I know it's like little kids can look into the windows of your soul, man. It's really weird to look at them, And I've seen some ugly babies. Really ugly babies. And fucked up part about it is I'll tell people, like, you got a really ugly kid, man. Like, you're not supposed to say that. It's not PC, but goddamn, if your kid looks like a goddamn gremlin and shit, like, I'm sorry, your kid is ugly. Put that shit away and don't feed it after midnight. That's all I'm saying. And also, I hate the whole maintenance in terms of take care of baby. You gotta wash it, you gotta feed it, you gotta, clean up its shit. You know what I'm saying? I got enough of that dealing with that myself, okay? You know what I'm saying? I got somebody that actually does that for me. His name is Enrique. He's a really good guy. And obviously, very solid because the fact he does, sometimes see my poop cutter, you know what I'm saying? So, but in terms of babies themselves, man, I'll tell you one thing about babies I do love. The sympathy that it brings out of people. Because I'll have like a baby in my arms. Just a random baby. I don't have any kids. I just have a random baby. And you'd be surprised what you can get for about good $1,000, man. Just a baby just to walk around with for a day, And people just, oh, it's so beautiful. Is that your baby? No, not at all. I like looking at him. Look at him. Look at him. Huh? Tiger blood.
Spit out? Once the baby spit out? Oh my God.
That's one way to put it.
Gary Busey's got a fucked up mind, I'll say that.
You gotta spit the baby out, man.
And then maintenance.
Like Johnny Bench, baby. Alright, let's go into another favorite hero of the show. Dropping that news.
Dropping that news.
Okay, folks. So it's actually been a pretty slow news week in terms of like a lot of the major stuff in Hollywood. First thing I want to do is...
I think everyone's still hungover from the Oscars.
From the Oscars, yeah. But first and foremost, I would like to send my condolences out to the family of Janet Dubois, best known as Willona on the classic sitcom Good Times. She passed away this past week at the age of 74 years old. Like being of course a black kid, but not just any kid, but Good Times is just one of those shows that's always been around on television. You know what I'm saying? You always see it's like on multiple networks all the time. So at some point, somebody has seen at least one episode of fucking Good Times.
For sure.
And myself, I've seen them all, so multiple times. And like I said, it's just part of the culture, man. It's part of, especially as a black man, it's part of our culture, man. And it's been around forever. It's just one of those shows that just keeps coming back. They just did the thing on ABC where they did like the live version of New Good Times, and it was I think it was Tiffany Haddish that played the Willona part. But Janae Dubois, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Janae Dubois is the originator. To me, she's like the original TV sassy neighbor. You know what I'm saying? They had wacky neighbors before, Ralph Norton and all that shit. But she was like the sassy, they would come in, say some sassy shit and then just go head out. You know what I'm saying? And she was a big part of that show. And then she would go on to do many other projects. She was the mother in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which we talked about in reference on this show. She was also a cast member on the Wayans Brothers show with Sean and Marlon Wayans, along with the late John Witherspoon, who also just passed away recently. She's been featured on so many other different shows like Martin and different shows like that. But my favorite contribution that she's done, and I think it's one that we both love, is that she is the singer of the Jeffersons theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side. You ever wonder who that was? It's Janae Dubois. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. I believe she wrote it too.
Well, it's a killer. It's probably the best theme song ever.
And then just the humming at the end. That's Janae Dubois, man. May she rest in peace, man. The pie. That's her, man. Rest in peace, Janae. Yeah. And also another big, in terms of casting announcement, for the season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, they just cast WWE superstar Sasha Banks. Mm-hmm. It's not disclosed exactly what her role is on the show, but like I said, seeing as how it's doing wonders for people that are on there like Gina Carano and Carl Weathers. They had a lot of weird guest people on The Mandalorian. I don't know if you noticed that. They had like Amy Sedaris and Jason Sudeikis did one. Freaking Bill Burr did one.
Dude, who's going to turn down a chance to be in Star Wars?
Exactly. Yeah, but they had some really good guest stars on there, but from the looks of it, she's going to be like a semi-regular character. I don't know who she's playing, but hey, go from WWE to Star Wars. That's a hell of a jump right there.
It's not a bad transition.
Not a bad transition at all. So I'm looking forward to see how she do. Number one, I think she's beautiful. I've always been a fan of her work as a wrestler, but I really think she's beautiful. And plus, she's a big comic nerd. So I'm interested to see what she plays.
Well, she's a comic nerd. She should definitely be a Star Wars nerd then.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. So fuck it. There's actually a great gaming channel if you ever get a chance. It's called Up Up Down Down. Ran by WWE superstar Xavier Woods, black guy, and it's all about gaming and nerd culture and all that good stuff. I'm a subscriber, and it's a great channel. Like they'll do all kinds of games. They do like Rocket League and all these other gaming stuff or whatever. And like I said, I can't express how good it is enough, man. And also one of the features of it has a lot of the WWE superstars, past and present. Like kind of seeing, kind of piercing behind the veil, see who they really are. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool, man. And actually, most recent one I saw was like Ronda Rousey was on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ronda Rousey on there.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H. I think it was like when they hit like a certain milestone in terms of like subscriptions, they get try to get a really big person like in terms of like that world. So yeah, the most recent one was like I think they almost got like 2 million subscribers, so they got Ronda Rousey.
Nice.
Yeah, so
get us to 2 million. We'll get Ronda.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah. All right. So another bit of news. This past week they released the first look of Robert Pattinson as the new Batman. Now, it's basically just a camera test. It might not even be the finished product, but actually Zoe Kravitz was just on the Tonight Show the other night, so they are filming right now in London. And she's playing Catwoman, so it might be the finished product. I'm not sure, but it looks really good. It looks very angular. Kind of resembles the later Christian Bale version of the Batsuit, not the first one, but the more was like multiple parts that version, and has a really big bat symbol on the chest. But like one thing about it is, and there's a lot of comments that I saw about this. Because of the fact it was shot in like red lighting, a lot of people said it resembled Daredevil, the Marvel Netflix version of Daredevil, which it does. Because the fact the cowl is very similar in terms of both of them. But like I said, he got the suit now, so he's officially Batman.
I mean, I just have to say I'm still not a fan of him in that role, but with this camera test, I think it went over better than the camera test for Jared Leto. Or I guess they should say the publicity photos they released during Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about 100 times before, whoever went after Heath Ledger was going to have the worst time ever trying to make that transition.
Yeah.
But that having been said, it could have been a hell of a lot better for him. That went completely off the rails.
Right.
I'm hopeful this will be a nice little because you and I, we've slightly differed on it a little bit, but I just haven't been a big fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I can't see him as Bruce Wayne. I don't know enough of Robert Pattinson's work to be able to say that there's no way he can do the role. I'm just cautiously optimistic.
Okay, I can see that.
Because Batman's my favorite comic book character.
I got you.
Well, as far as superheroes. So.
Yeah. Last bit of news. The great Mark Hamill has joined the cast of Kevin Smith's relaunch of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe on Netflix. He'll be playing Skeletor.
You know, I did good with Joker.
Hey, he did a great Joker. He's done a bunch of other different characters. Like, I didn't know, if you're like fans of Spider-Man, the animated series from the 90s, I didn't know until recently that he was the fucking Hobgoblin. And that was one of the great characters on that show.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's the Hobgoblin.
Like, right now is when I found out.
Yeah, so like, it's like he's a fucking
crazy.
He's a fucking Hobgoblin. And like, you kind of listen to him, I can hear you can hear a little of the Joker in there. I was like, oh, okay, I got you now. And he did a bunch of other different Marvel shows. I think recently he did like Avengers Assemble, where he played like Claw from like Black Panther, and played like Arnim Zola from Captain America. He's done a bunch of different voice acting stuff, but it's still Mark Hamill, so yeah. I'm sure he'll do fantastic.
100%.
All right, and that pretty much is it. That was Dropping That News.
Dropping that news.
Such a dork.
Who are you talking to? You and I have been playing this game for too many years at this point. We are definitely gigantic dorks. We're nerds, we're geeks, we're whatever you want it to be. We can go on and on about this useless
dork.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, funny though, fucking the Police Academy movies on Netflix now.
Really?
Remember the one when he went to Miami? No, the one when he went to Miami and then the dude did the suntan on Harris's chest and everybody just called him dork. It was so dork. It was out of dork.
Hey, you know what? There was a piece of news I just realized you missed.
What's up?
Well, there's a show on Netflix. Something about 100 humans.
Oh, that's right.
That's something that definitely needs to make our news.
Okay, all right. So one more little piece of Dropping That News. About 2 years ago, I did a Netflix show. It's kind of like a mix between a reality competition show and a social experiment. And the name of the show was 100 Humans, which is going to be debuting on March 13th, I believe, on Netflix. I am one of the 100 humans. So if you ever get a chance, go check that out. It's going to be a pretty interesting show, especially as an interesting experience making the shit. So
it's true. You were sleeping in my bed.
It's right. And actually, while I was doing it, shut up, don't say it like that. But while I was doing it, I stayed.
You were.
I stayed in the South Bay. I'm not gonna say where, but I stayed in the South Bay out here shut up. I stayed in the South Bay out here in Los Angeles, and the show was shot off in Cal State Northridge, which is a good significant amount away. And I didn't want to do that drive every night, so I stayed at AJ's place. And you were saying Santa Monica at the time?
Yeah, I was in Santa Monica, but I was out of town, so I just let you have the run of the joint.
Yeah, exactly. So he was out of town, so he actually stayed. I actually stayed at AJ's house.
But it was funnier the way I said it.
Yeah, well, because technically it's true.
It can cause some confusion for some folks.
It was hot and sweaty in there, by the way.
All I'm going to say is mind your business. Mind your business.
But please check out 100 Humans when it airs on March 13th. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Hey, we got to make sure we get all the important plugs in, man.
That's right. All right, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of what we're watching tonight. One of my favorite movies, definitely my favorite sci-fi movie of all time, 1987's Robocop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Oh my god, dude, I love this movie so fucking much.
It's a great film.
Oh my god, and then like freaking, as many times as I've seen it, it just never gets old. It never gets old, and there's very few movies where I can say that in my lifetime of all the movies I've seen. Like, it was like I can watch this one at the drop of a hat anytime.
Jump into it anywhere.
Exactly. So what I want you to do, folks, this is a watch along, so we're going to be watching it and giving you facts as we're watching it. Yeah, let's go ahead and cue this thing up, man. And we're going to be giving you guys facts as we're watching this movie. So let's go ahead and press play now. I got the
classic MGM.
MGM, man.
There you go.
With the I like the Family Guy shit. He's like, I want to stick. He was like, the line as a little kid is like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to stick my head through a hole in Raw before movies. Everybody's like, ha ha ha, and he's like, you see him like, who's laughing now, bitches?
The other thing, dude, have you actually seen the behind the scenes photo of them filming that?
Yes.
Those guys were like inches away. Mm-hmm. It's one of the scariest looking things I've ever seen.
For the explosions and shit?
Well, no, I'm talking for the lion.
Oh yeah,
like the original filming the guys filming from the very first one.
For Robocop,
dude, they're a foot away. If that, there's no trainer nearby because they don't want to get him in the shot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So now we get into the first little bit of our
1987's Robocop,
the satirical version of this here news break. Give us 3 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Yeah, and we're going to show you 500 different horrible things that may have happened.
With Jess Perkins and I forgot the guy's name, but like Jess Perkins, the actress there, Lisa Gibbons is actually going to become an actual TV personality. She had her own talk show at one point.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, Lisa Gibbons. So yeah, and actually, I read the original script of RoboCop. And they described the main guy here, Jess Wong, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they describe him as Eurasian. So, I can see that now.
You know the really interesting thing I think about them setting this in Detroit to begin with.
Yeah.
They were really ahead of the curve, right? Yeah. Because they kind of saw how bad Detroit was going to get in the next 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, hold on. We have we're streaming it, so we have a little thing.
A little bit of a
gotta reset it. It just paused out on.
While we're doing that, go ahead and pause your connection there real quick. Once we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and knock out a few facts about RoboCop. Now, RoboCop was written by Ed Neumeyer and Michael Meyer. Now, Ed Neumeyer is the one that kind of initiated this whole thing. He was an executive at Universal, and he was actually there around the time they were shooting Blade Runner. And he got the idea of RoboCop while walking past a poster of Blade Runner. He asked his friend, like, what the movie's about. He said, "Oh, it's about this cop hunting robots." And then that sparked the idea in him. What about if we did a movie about a robot cop? Now, while that's happening, he actually meets another writer named Michael Miner, who was a writer, and he was also known as a music video director at the time, who apparently was working on a similar idea called Super Cop. And it's about a cop who gets injured and becomes the donor for this experiment, and he becomes like apparently some prosthesis is put on him, and he becomes like this super cop as a result of it. So they decided, Miner and Neumeyer decided to merge their ideas together, and RoboCop is the result. Now, the first treatment was really for RoboCop was actually just about a robot cop who was not a cyborg. But apparently the development of the story is that his mind was actually becoming more and more human. Now, the plot was supposed to take place in the distant future. The world's supposed to be run by corporations. And basically, the visual that they were trying to go for was a world that was similar to Blade Runner, which was a big inspiration for this movie, apparently. The thing about it is, the original treatment was rejected because of the fact he had an incomplete storyline, and because of where it was set, they knew it was going to be crazy expensive. So a lot of people gave that up. Now, once they actually got down the actual main draft of what RoboCop would be, they started looking for an actual director. Now, most of the major directors in Hollywood, of course, turned this movie down. Like, apparently, they said they turned it down as soon as they saw the title, RoboCop. Because like no self-respecting director at that time wanted to be associated with anything
called
RoboCop. So, but
to be fair, it does sound like it's some sort of a
B movie
cartoon or something.
It sounds very B movie.
To be generous,
yeah, it sounds very B movie. So, yeah, a lot of people turned it down. But the person that did actually take it was Dutch director Paul Verhoeven. Now, if you folks ever seen Paul Verhoeven or seen any of Paul Verhoeven's work, dude is out there. Very, very wild little Dutch man.
Very wild.
Very wild little Dutch man. And he was actually working. He had been working in the Netherlands for more than a decade. He directed several films that became kind of art house classics among like the actors in the 80s, particularly Soldier of Orange, which apparently a lot of the people in the cast of RoboCop liked. But he moved away from the Netherlands to seek broader opportunities in Hollywood. Now, while a lot of people tend to credit RoboCop as his like English language debut, his actual English language debut, was actually a movie called Flesh and Blood in 1985, starring Rutger Hauer, who was kind of like, you know how like you got like Bobby De Niro and Scorsese, you got Johnny Depp and Tim Burton. Well, Rutger Hauer was sort of like for Paul Verhoeven's guy. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that he would go to for like, this is my guy for this movie, in the Dutch accent. Now, like most of the directors that we talked about, when Verhoeven first saw the actual script, same thing, he saw the title RoboCop, and he actually threw it in the trash. So and he actually does an interview. He's like, I will not be connected to this rubbish. No. But afterwards, his wife actually picked up the script and read it. And she's like, well, this ain't exactly Shakespeare, but there's a lot more to this than you actually think it is. And then he took a second glance at it because his wife did. And he really got into the whole allegory of a man being killed and then resurrected. Because he's like, apparently he studied like theology. He was big into that kind of stuff. So he decided to make his version of what he would call the American Jesus. That's what he kept saying in interviews. All right, folks, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we'll go ahead and continue as is. Like I was saying, I believe I don't know exactly what part I cut out, but we'll just go from there.
It cut out during the American Jesus.
Okay, so like Paul Verhoeven basically said that he wanted to make RoboCop. He's the American Jesus. He's American. He wanted to do the Jesus story, but told through the American, like a viewpoint. And like I said, there's one scene you see later in the movie where RoboCop is literally walking on water. There's actually
That's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's actually kind of an intentional thing done by Paul Verhoeven. Also, when Murphy is killed, which we'll see a little bit later, the first thing you do is they take out the hand. Kind of like some reminiscent of the stake going through Jesus' hand on the cross.
Right.
So like his crucifixion is when they kill him. So and then they resurrect him, etc., etc. So yeah, that's really the theme that kind of brought in Paul Verhoeven. Now the other directors there were offered RoboCop before Paul Verhoeven came on board. Alex Cox, who did Repo Man. Okay. He actually got an offer. He turned it down. Also, another one, Ken Johnson, who created the Incredible Hulk TV show. Okay. They offered it to him, but he declined because he read the script and he thought it was, quote, mean-spirited, ugly, and ultraviolet.
Yeah.
So he's
not inaccurate.
Yeah, he's not inaccurate at all. And also, both Ed Neumeyer and Paul Verhoeven have declared themselves to be very left-wing in terms of their politics, but a lot of people tend to view RoboCop as a fascist movie.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
But like it's like they basically say there's fascism for liberals. That's basically what this movie is.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And also one little joke within the movie, which we're going to see a little bit later, is the show, the Bixby Snyder Show, which is actually the name of it. A lot of people don't know the name of that show. Like, they just know the catchphrase. So the catchphrase, "I'd buy that for $1," is kind of like the whole thing where like everybody just makes it funnier than it actually is. And you see all the actors that watch it, they think it's the most hilarious shit ever. Oh my god! But Bixby Snyder, the actual actor's name is S.D. Nemeth. And then actually a lot of people didn't even know his name but until like there's a line of dialogue by one of the girls like, "Happy birthday, Bixby!" Yeah, that's how they got the name. Oh yeah, actually the actual name of the show is "It's Not My Problem." That's the name of the show for the Bixby Snyder thing. Yeah, it was really weird. Now, filming for this movie actually started in August 6, 1986, and they actually wrapped in October of the same year. Now, they pretty much shot most of it in, like, while the movie itself is supposed to be set in futuristic Detroit, the vast majority of the movie is actually shot a la RoboCop. All right, folks. So real quick, we gotta go ahead and let you folks know we're having a bit of a technical difficulty in terms of the
internet's
playback.
out.
Yeah, the playback for RoboCop. Apparently, the internet has went out.
This is when streaming sucks.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, we started the show, and the show must go on. We both have a lot of facts.
We're gonna push through this, and if it comes back, within the next half hour, we'll just jump into it. If not, then we'll just give you a nice fact show, like when we went over John Landis.
That's what's up.
All right,
cool. Let's keep it moving.
Moving along.
All right. So, like I was saying, before before we got interrupted, like the movie is supposed to be shot in futuristic Detroit, but it actually was shot in Dallas, Texas. Now, a lot of the futuristic buildings that you see are actually Dallas buildings, like the Reunion Tower. That's the background for like one of the car chases and shit. Mm-hmm. The front of the Dallas City Hall is actually OCP. That's what it is. This is the front of Dallas City Hall. And also, they also have matte paintings and that shit to make it look way bigger than it actually is. And actually, all the steel mill scenes are actually shot in a place called Monessen, Pennsylvania. It's like a suburb of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So that's where they shot the steel mill scenes. And actually, in terms of like how the movie was shot, the very last scene that was shot for the movie is Murphy's death.
Yeah.
because the fact it was so extensive. So they saved it for last. So it's the very last thing shot. Now, when they realized this movie was actually running, behind schedule and over budget, the director Paul Verhoeven, like I said, he purposefully made Murphy's death the last thing, so that they can go back to L.A. and then they go back to L.A. and they can say the execs can be there and watch it and all of this shit. So they gave him more money so they can actually supervise this actual shoot of this one scene. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it has to be because that's the one that's got to, you have such a small window where you need to connect emotionally with him. Otherwise, you're literally just watching a robot and you're supposed to be rooting for a robot. Like, you have to have that humanity in there.
Yeah. All right, so you got some facts in there?
Yeah. In fact, actually, one of the funniest things about this film, so when the film was released, there's actually a funny story that there was actually a robber, or robbery suspect, I should say, innocent until proven guilty, who was running from the cops, who ran into a theater that was showing Robocop. And he apparently sat down and just started watching the movie. And he was so engrossed in the film that he didn't notice the cops evacuating everyone else in the theater. It was the middle of the day, so it wasn't like it was a full theater. Yeah. Until they flipped on the lights and then they took him into custody. And he's like, "What the? How did this happen?"
It was a dumbass move.
I know, it's pretty
good movie, but it's a dumbass move.
Well, I mean that's if you're running for your life basically and you're so engrossed in the film. That's what we call a good review.
That's right. Very much so. Now, going back to Paul Verhoeven real quick, he and the movie's makeup artist, Rob Bottin, we will get more into him later, they clashed repeatedly before and during the production of this movie, mainly because of the design of Robocop. Now, what they argue with the most is the scene where Robocop takes off his helmet, that scene. Bottin wanted it to be shot in a dark area. He feared that the harsh light will reveal too much of the makeup effects. Right. Verhoeven wanted it to be as bright as possible, and basically saying that his director of photography, Josh Vacano, would be able to light it properly without revealing anything. Eventually, Paul Verhoeven got his way, and apparently Rob Bottin refused to talk to him about anything further for the remainder of the shoot. Now, at the premiere, both men were so impressed by how the scene turned out that they immediately forgave each other. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what? When it works out, it works out.
And then actually, at one point, Rob Bottin actually vowed that he would never work with Verhoeven again. Come to find out, he would work with Paul Verhoeven on his next movie, Total Recall. So
it works.
Yeah. So you got a factor?
Yeah. In fact, since we're talking about the suit and the makeup effects and all that, the suit itself was the most expensive thing on set from the production design standpoint. Yep. Somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million. Nobody's ever said for sure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, when you talk, especially the entire budget of this film, which nobody really had any faith in, except for Paul and the actors, the people who actually made it. Right. That's insane.
That is ridiculous. Now, Paul himself admitted that while he was reading the screenplay, he had some difficulties interpreting American slang because he's Dutch. Yeah. So he didn't get bitches and why one thing he couldn't understand is why black people were calling white people brother. He didn't get that. What's happening, brother? They're not related. So he doing shit like that, man. Yeah.
Actually, kind of just a funny little aside, 27 years after this film was made, which the bankruptcy of Detroit's kind of a big thing. Yes. Detroit actually did file for bankruptcy. Oh, yeah. So is that an issue of life imitating art?
That is a common theme throughout the Robocop movies, is like how bankrupt Detroit is.
When you're ahead of your time, you're ahead of your time.
Yeah. Now, the soundtrack, which is actually one of my favorite soundtrack scores for this movie, was done by the late great Basil Poledouris, who also did the music for Conan. So all that dope ass music you hear in Conan, that orchestral music, Basil Poledouris, he actually did the same thing for this movie, but he did the orchestral stuff, but he added the synthesized machine stuff to kind of illustrate the whole thing. He's man and he's a machine. So you can really feel that throughout the score. I think the score really, to me, is most powerful when Robocop goes home. When he goes home and sees his old house and he sees it abandoned, he starts having the flashbacks of his old life with his son and his wife.
You're having those moments of humanity come through.
Yeah, exactly. And then the heartbreaking part of that whole get down. The whole thing was heartbreaking, but the real heartbreaking was the very end when he's about to leave and he sees his wife and the wife's like, "I love you." It looks like they're about to have an intimate moment, but then it disappears. It's like, yeah, that's gone, man. Like that shit breaks your heart, man. It really does. Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the casting. Now, Paul Verhoeven, of course, initially wanted his guy, Rutger Hauer, to be Robocop. And also another person that was considered was Michael Ironside, from Scanners. Yeah. So
that would have been interesting.
Yeah. And funny enough, Michael Ironside would be the bad guy in his next movie, Total Recall. So, but both of those guys were considered too big for what they were going for in terms of like the suit itself,
physicality. Because I mean that actually was a problem later on. They couldn't actually get him into the car wearing the suit because it was so bulky. So that's why you only ever see him in the car or just getting out or just getting in. You never actually see him get all the way in. And
apparently Schwarzenegger was suggested by the studio Orion because they had so much success with him because of Terminator. But again, they're like, dude, he's way too big for what we're trying to do.
Way too big.
So what they needed was an actor who was had a small, like slim, almost like runner's body, but could give off the physicality of somebody much larger. Now enter Peter Weller. Now Peter Weller at this point was actually just another one of these journeyman actors. He had been around for like 10 plus years prior, doing different movies here and there. Yep. I think the biggest movie he did at this point was Buckaroo Banzai.
Something like that, yeah.
Across the whatever dimension. Where he's like, basically the character of Buckaroo Banzai is like kind of like a rehash of Doc Savage, I believe that's the name of it.
Okay.
The old pulp character where he's like an everyman scientist kind of thing. He's a scientist, he's like a rock star, he's a surgeon, he's like an astronaut. All this shit in one person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Buckaroo Banzai. But he had like been around for a good little while, and like I said, he fit the frame because of the fact he was very slender. He was like 5'10" at the time, and one of the reasons they really cast him because of the fact he had a fantastic jawline, and he had a very expressive lower half of his face. So they really needed that for the design of RoboCop. Another casting thing that they had was actually Stephanie Zimbalist was supposed to be Lewis.
Really?
Yeah. Stephanie Zimbalist, for most people who don't know, was from the show Remington Steele back in the 80s with her and Pierce Brosnan, future James Bond. Now, funny enough, they had actually canceled Remington Steele in 1986. And when they canceled it, both stars were free to go off and do whatever they wanted to do. Now, the fucked up part about it is, since we mentioned James Bond, Pierce Brosnan had been, courted to be the next James Bond. When news got out that Pierce Brosnan, the dude from Remington Steele, is going to be the next James Bond, interest in Remington Steele went up. Mm-hmm. As a result, they re-optioned Remington Steele, and both Pierce and Stephanie Zimbalist were basically forced to come back and do another season of Remington Steele. And like I said, the interest in the James Bond interest kept fucking Pierce from being James Bond at the time, and also kept Stephanie from being Lewis. So they recast Lewis with Nancy Allen, who at this point had been known for more or less like girly girl, bitchy type characters. I think our most famous part at that time was like Carrie. She's the bitch in Carrie.
Really?
Yeah, she's the bad girl in Carrie. She's the one that like does the pig's blood shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's Nancy Allen. Yeah, and John Travolta was her boyfriend. That shit. Yeah. So, and then I think she did another thing with John Travolta that shit with Brian De Palma, Blowout.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in that shit too. So, but she's mainly known for her long, beautiful hair and being girly girls and bitches in different movies and shit. So they decided, you know what? We're gonna cut your hair. We're going to cut it into this, like, bob, so it is meant to desexualize you. Because that's another theme in this movie, is that they wanted to desexualize the cops in terms of, like, men and women, they're out there doing the same job. They might as well, work together and dress together and all this shit. So there's the one scene you see at the beginning of the movie where there's, like, female cops in the same locker room with the male cops, and they're undressing together, right, and nobody's saying nothing. So that's really one of the themes that they want to kick off straight up. Now, in terms of the villain, they asked both Kurtwood Smith and Ronnie Cox to play the villains. Now, both of those guys at that point were known for playing good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ronnie,
that's actually Kurtwood's biggest probably switch, and it changed everything for him.
Yeah, this is a breakout for Kurtwood Smith because of the fact, and also same thing for for a little bit for Ronnie Cox. Now, Ronnie Cox at this point had been known for movies like Deliverance. He was in Deliverance and did like different movies like that. I think the biggest movie, box office wise, that Ronnie Cox had ever did at that point was Beverly Hills Cop. He's Bogomil, Lieutenant Bogomil.
Oh, okay.
In Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a good guy in that. He's the dude that helps out Axel Foley and shit. And Kurtwood Smith was like not as well known at that point, but he was getting there. But yeah, even in the commentary for this, they did one. I think they did a special feature on one of the Robocop DVDs where they actually had the villains and they're talking about the effect of the movie they had on them. Kurtwood Smith said, "Yeah, this movie changed my life." You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, they both were initially good guy types, and actually, funny enough, they auditioned for the other role. Like, Ronnie Cox auditioned for Clarence, and then what's his name? Kurtwood Smith auditioned for Jones, but they switched them.
Oh, okay.
And also the look of Kurtwood Smith as what's his name, Clarence Bodiger, was based on Heinrich Himmler, the dude from the Hitler.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if I remember right, the director he grew up. Honestly, like in the shadow of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So he said he actually liked that with it because it made him more menacing.
Yes, it does. All right, so do we have the movie back?
I think we do. And just as a quick note, something hilarious with Peter Weller, I think I don't know if you have this or not, but he would actually stay in character between takes.
I actually do have that, but yeah.
and so he would not respond unless he was addressed as Robo.
Or Murphy.
Yeah, well, and it was killing the director to the point where he literally was busting up. So after a couple of weeks, he finally dropped it.
I saw the DVD commentary. Yeah. I cannot take this seriously. I cannot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the movie back, people. Now we're back at the media break where they're doing the heart commercial. Mm-hmm. And remember, we care. Mm-hmm. The Jervik line, hearts. But now they're going into the whole thing about OCP and what's going on with the Detroit police and all that good stuff. Now, in the original script, there is a scene that precedes this where there's a chase between Clarence Bodiger's gang and there's a cop named Fredrickson that is mentioned during the first scenes here. You actually see that scene where Fredrickson gets killed. And like I said, they cut it because of time. Actually, if you look at the scene right now, you see look kind of cutouts of what the scene was. Like I said, I first shot of Clarence Bodiger with the glasses on. Wanted for different cops being killed, and now they like wishing Fredrickson, saying, "Good luck, Frank."
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Go get him, Frank.
But yeah, they actually show the whole scene where Fredrickson gets took down. But now we're actually at the Detroit Police Department, Metro West, and we got our first look at Sergeant Reed, played by Robert Decoy. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name.
And actually, I got to say, for all of the different police departments you've seen in movie and television over the years, this is one of the best looking precincts in terms of realism. Yeah,
plus they got to keep the cliche of the angry black captain / the angry black authority figure. So,
well,
Sergeant Reed.
That's an aside we can get into.
But now we get our first look at Peter Weller as Alex Murphy. Murphy transferring from Metro South. Good precinct. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Mm-hmm. We work for a living down here, Murphy. Get your arm and suit up. Yeah. So they let you know what it is from the get, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough down here in Metro South. But it's rough in all of Detroit. Yeah, that's a weird looking little black lady, too. EJ, I believe is his real name.
Let's be honest, most of the guys in this, most of the actors in this are pretty weird looking.
Now we're in the locker room here. We see, Murphy communicating with the other cops and whatnot. And like I said, you look in the background, you see different cops, male and female, all dressing together. You see the little guy here. His actual name is Kaplan. This little cop here. Omni Consumer Products, what a bunch of morons. That guy. Yeah. But yeah, you see the female cops here. You'll see one of them with the breasts out. Yeah, right there. There you go. Got the little, what do they call them? The lab rats? The lab rat breasts? Real pale skin with real pink nipples?
I don't know, man.
I think they call them the lab rats.
Sure, that's
the thing. But this is the first little moment of heaviness in the movie where, Sergeant Reed just walks up silently and takes off Fredrickson's name tag, just kind of indicating to everybody that Fredrickson died. Mm-hmm. And lets them know funerals tomorrow. Any officers not on duty are requested to attend. Any donations go to his little assistant Cecil here, who I don't know why the hell Cecil is a cop.
He's the office cop.
He's the dorky.
He's the office cop. Look at him.
Yeah, but
Somebody's got to move stuff around.
But the whole thing of the strike, which becomes a recurring thing with the cops throughout the movie. You know what I'm saying? There's a strike vote. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is actually a thing that we've heard in LA once or twice.
Yeah. Murphy, front and center.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like this little moment here. He loads his gun, but then they do his name tag, kind of similar to how they just did Fredrickson, kind of indicating to the audience that he's next.
He's on the line.
Yes, he is. Murphy comes out. Some prostitutes say, "Hey, Tiger, yeah, hey, prostitute." But then like some dudes just getting a little wild here and beats up this female cop. But everybody's like, "What the fuck?" This female cop ain't having that shit.
No.
Kick to the back. Punch that motherfucker out.
She's gonna absolutely teach him the meaning of police brutality.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Detroit, don't know about to kill. And now all the cops are like straight up all they wear is riot gear.
Yep.
Yeah. But then kind of find
what?
out
She kind of looks like Maggie Gyllenhaal, doesn't she?
a little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
I hadn't noticed that till right now, especially when she had the helmet on, still covering her hair.
Kind of a thicker Maggie, a lot thicker Maggie Gyllenhaal.
It depends on the movie.
Yeah, but still a lot thicker. Usually a lot thicker. And then the whole thing of Murphy and Lewis together for the first time,
Yeah.
getting that little friendship camaraderie thing going there. popping the bubble gum and Murphy.
Because in the future in Detroit, everything's gone to hell, but nobody smokes.
Oh yeah, here's another recurring theme throughout the movie. Every time their car leaves the little garage, well, it always hits it with the sparks.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's such a big dude. It's riding low, man.
Mm-hmm. No, but this is before. This is before. You know what I'm saying?
I know. That's what I'm saying. He was always a big dude. That's what they're trying to get across. Big guy.
Yeah. And all the cop cars you see in the movie are Ford Tauruses, by the way. Yeah. Now we got our first shot of Bob Morton, played by the late Miguel Ferrer. He passed away.
Yeah.
And also we got his cronies here, Kenny and what's another name? What is the black dude's name? Johnson. Yeah.
All the black guys in the 80s movies named
Johnson. That's right, yeah. Johnson, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But doing the whole thing about, fuck Jones. He was like being, obviously Bob here is a very ambitious type. And we get our first shot of Ronnie Cox as Dick Jones. And we got David O'Hillery, I believe that's how you pronounce it, as the old man, the CEO of OCP.
With that beautiful 3-piece suit.
Yes, sir. But, gives the air of, corrupt old man very well.
Yep.
And I love getting this little meeting. My friends, I've had this dream for quite some time now. Dream that you're going to help to fruition. Tomorrow, we begin construction of Delta City, where old Detroit now stands. And you see this futuristic ass city.
It literally looks like Epcot.
But it'll be impossible to actually build because this is the way it looks.
No, you can build it, but nobody would live there. And it costs a fortune.
It just doesn't look.
It's not realistic.
It doesn't look realistic at all. So
it literally looks like Epcot.
And also another thing that's kind of borrowing that Robocop does, the whole thing Delta City. One thing that Robocop borrows heavily from is the whole Judge Dredd thing.
Yeah.
Particularly in England, Judge Dredd loves to satirize American culture. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the whole get down. And the main city in the Judge Dredd comics is Mega City 1, which is basically just like this.
Okay.
Like Delta City. And like Dick Jones here where he does his little speech. Now, apparently Dick Jones, since we talked about it a little while ago, actually on our last podcast, the whole Marv Wolfman Lex Luthor thing, that was a big inspiration for Dick Jones.
I have to say, just I'm listening as I'm thinking about this, with all of the different characters, with the Dicks and the Johnsons, there's a lot of phallic symbolism.
I was wondering where you were going with that. But yeah, I can see that. I like this.
And then it's great because you've got Dick Jones up there talking about this masculine stuff, all the military.
No, but all the stuff that they
already
did. Particularly non-profit areas that they did, hospitals, space exploration. He said, good business is where you find it. Mm-hmm. And now he's explaining to them what his concept is, that they need a 24-hour-a-day police officer, a cop that doesn't need to eat or sleep, a cop with superior firepower and the reflexes to use it. And he introduces his model Ed 209.
Ed.
Big looming.
They've got one up in San Francisco right now. It apparently told people trying to report a crime to leave them alone and played music and rolled away.
Fuck, hey.
You didn't hear about that?
No, anyway,
cool.
if they got an Ed 209, leave that motherfucker alone.
Well, it doesn't have the firepower.
Which we're going to see in a second. Leave that motherfucker alone. Don't go nowhere near it, bro.
Yeah.
Stop motion here. Done by
Fantastic.
Phil Tippett, the great Phil Tippett.
I love stop motion.
Look at that.
That's for CGI before CGI.
Way before CGI. But now there's like herky jerky, like the Ray Harryhausen shit. Look at that.
The best part about this too is that their idea of a police officer in this post-apocalyptic Detroit is just a robot that shoots you.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. It's just a giant cannon on legs.
So apparently the body of Ed 209 was based on a Bell helicopter, and the overall appearance is based on it. You know the Japanese thing Robotech?
Yeah,
that's what they got. That's what the inspiration for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Robotech, and like he's like telling them like, hey, once we done this little thing for Ed 209 in the urban sector, it's gonna be the hot military item of the next decade. Like,
it's like wait. You're gonna send this into the urban sector, but then it's going to the military.
Now this big ass gun that they happen to have in this boardroom. That was actually Robocop's original gun. That big ass Desert Eagle. That's what it's supposed to be.
Chromed out Desert Eagle. That's.
But unfortunately for poor Mr. Kenny here, you are trespassing. Now the voice of Ed 209 is actually the producer of John Davidson.
See, that's the fun part about being a producer. You can put yourself in wherever you want.
But this is a pretty fucked up scene. You now have 10 seconds to comply. Like, oh, he didn't hear the gun. Like, hey, you're a violation code, penal code, whatever the fuck. And everybody's like, oh shit, he's not stopping. Now he's really panicking. Like 5, 4,
Everyone's
3,
like, get away from
2, 1. I am not authorized to use physical force. Done. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Look at all them squibs. Dude, look at all them squibs, bro.
Cutting them in.
This is I was wondering, this is the uncut version. Yeah, then they show the extra squib shit. Oh my god. Yeah.
I love how everyone's like, well, that sucks. Time to move on.
Especially the old man.
He's like, all right, well, I guess we got to do an insurance payout.
Yeah. And
it's an industrial accident.
And actually, this is meant to be black humor here when they ask him, like, can somebody get a paramedic? Yeah, that's not going to help here, brother. He's done.
I don't know. You're a corpsman. Is there anything you could do?
No, he's done. You saw fucking organs popping out of. Yeah, he's done. Jesus. And like, I love the old man's response. Dick, I'm very disappointed.
Like, that's it.
Oh yeah, you're like, this is a glitch. You call this a glitch? But in this moment of fuck up, Bob Morton sees an opportunity and steps in. Sir, perhaps you're aware of the Robocop program that we created as a contingency against this sort of thing. But he tries to get him out of the way. Wait a minute, dick. Maybe what we need here is a fresh perspective. Tell me more about your plan, young man. We already restructured the police department according to risk factor. Like, they purposely moved these cops to dangerous areas for this project.
Right, to get somebody killed so they could turn them into a science project.
Fucking corporations, man.
At least this one.
Yeah, but still, that's fucking nice, man. Just like, look at it.
Makes you think twice about Amazon.
Yeah, but you see that look on Dick Jones's face, like, yeah, you fucked up, buddy. He's so happy, like, see that? That's how you do it. You see it opening, you go for it. He's so happy.
It's like, nobody wants grief counseling. They're like, yeah, we didn't like that guy anyway.
Yeah, this is like, kind of like the whole play on, the Wall Street thing where it's like, greed is good, executives reading fucking Sun Tzu and shit like that.
Well, and it's literally got like a dog eat dog.
Yeah, but I do like this line here when they're in the elevator. It's like, so when do we start? Some poor schmuck volunteers. And then our first shot is C.C. Murphy. And now you see him twirling a gun.
Which is a really bad idea, by the way.
Very bad idea, but it's like indicative to the character as it would turn out. And like sitting there like watch.
I'm just saying that for any of our listeners.
Realistically, do not twirl a live firearm around. Like, you see him loading the shit too
in front of her. But I mean, technically, it's slide action. He didn't rack around. Technically, he shouldn't shoot her, but
still,
my God, he shouldn't be doing that.
Do not do that. Yeah. We advocate gun safety on this show.
Seriously.
Do not fucking do that shit.
Don't ever point a gun at anybody or anything you don't intend to shoot.
Yeah. Now, since we talked about this whole bloody scene, which we just saw, that the movie was originally given an X rating by the MPAA in '87. They actually had to tone down a lot of the violence as a result of it. Now, like to meet the requirements, they had to tone down the blood and the gore for some of the more violent scenes, like the Ed 209 scene that we just saw. Now we're watching the extended version, which does have the blood and gore.
Yes,
that was not removed. So yeah, I'm sorry about that.
This is one of my favorite moments right here. First glimpse of Kurtwood.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see the next scene, which was another big thing for the X rating, Murphy's execution, which we'll see in just a second. But you see the first glimpse of, Clarence Boddiger's gang. You see all the different members.
That's the best spirit ever, by the way.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Emil and Leon and what's his name? Steve and Joe. Steve is the Asian guy, and Joe's the black dude. So, and actually, the black dude, I forgot the actor's name, but he was on fucking The Greatest American Hero. He was one of the students. Yeah, and then he went up to do this. I think those are the two biggest things he's ever done.
I love how he's just hanging out of the side window with two guns.
Yeah. And then actually, fun fact, apparently Leon, played by the great Ray Weiss, dude that plays Emil, and Peter Weller all did episode of 24 together.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They're all different characters. None of them have any interaction throughout the scene, but they all did the same episode of 24.
Yeah, Peter Weller's like that formerly like good dude who used to be on Jack's side. With
he's like
turncoat.
It's like his mentor or some shit, right?
Yeah, something like that. And he's doing all kinds of really horrible shit behind the scenes.
But yeah, you see all the different shit that.
And we literally just saw one of the few screw ups there because they had the window got shot up, and then the next shot.
That's right. Yeah.
And they in
Can
the windshield.
You fly, Bobby? Clarence, don't do this, man. And they never really confirmed this, but it's initiated that they kill this guy here, Bobby, when they do this.
Yeah.
You see him moving right there, but he's supposed to be dead. And they just slide his body off.
Yep.
Yeah, so he might just be unconscious, but yeah, he's supposed to be dead.
I mean, he never comes back, so if he didn't die, he was smart enough to get the hell out.
Now we go to the steel mill, the scene of the crime. This shit here is so stupid to me, where Murphy and Lewis roll up.
By themselves,
just the two of them. It's like
into a place with tons of spots to hide.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
backup.
And then your call, let's do it. Like, oh my god, that's a really bad call, Lewis.
Lewis is the worst partner.
Yeah, I know, for real. You realize, Lewis keeps hanging with Murphy because she feels she is responsible for his death, which she is.
And can we point out how weird it is that she has a figure-formed flak jacket?
Yeah, I know.
What the hell?
Yeah. But Murphy is being, a regular cop here, you know what I'm saying, going through the different spots. Still, they should not be doing this by themselves.
No. They definitely should. Set a perimeter, get back up.
They are undermanned. The guys ain't going nowhere. So,
why would you rush headlong into something with this many places to hide?
Exactly.
You're just begging to get killed.
Yeah. And then she runs up on the black dude taking a piss. Yeah.
Again, a lot of dick stuff in this.
Oh yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. Taking a piss, and then he stops midstream, which is
because
funny.
She pops her gum.
And apparently he's sitting there with his dick out. You mind if I zip this up? And you see Lewis looking at his dick and shit. Yeah. Go look at it. Go look at it, girl. Yeah. Look at my dick. Yeah, look at my dick. Look at my dick. She's looking. There you go. Bah!
He's just waiting for it.
And done. So now,
she's lucky she just got knocked out.
Yeah. His laugh. Yeah, I like Joe's laugh, man.
Oh, yeah.
But now, unfortunately, it's her idea to go in. Now she's incapacitated, leaving her partner defenseless.
Leaving Peter to
Jesus Christ.
Go on to future fame.
I love how the fucking cop criminals are talking about free enterprise. Hey, man, those cigarettes will kill you. Hey, those cigarettes will kill you, man. Yeah. You want to live forever? My God. Oh, man. And then, of course, we go to our show here. It's Not My Problem. With all a lot of hot chicks in that show. He's just doing a bunch of weirdo shit. But old Murphy gets the spring on this, kills one of the members, and has a meal here. Yeah. But then the first utterance of the line, Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me, which will come back.
Mm-hmm. Over and over to great effect.
Yeah, and it's pretty much become Robocop's catchphrase. So, and Lewis is still fucked up. Oh, this is such a dumb idea. I'm sorry I keep saying that, folks.
But it is. It's a horrible idea.
It's a really dumb idea.
Thankfully, she has horrible ideas. We wouldn't have had a movie.
True. Yeah.
It would have just been called Cops.
It's movie logic, but at the same time, realistically, yeah, this would not happen. And now
he's screwed.
He is completely screwed. Now he's surrounded and defenseless. So now you got all these people with guns. So you got Steve Min and Leon Nash with shotguns trained on him. And Emil gets his gun. Oh, no, yeah, his shotgun.
Yeah.
Your ass is mine.
He also took his gun before he grabbed the shotgun.
Yeah. But now we get the big guy here, Clarence Bodiger. But all of them got shotguns, which is horrible.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's so horrible. Oh, man.
Like, just as like a quick aside into reality.
Yeah.
Handgun rounds, as long as it's not in the head, even in the 80s, definitely now, you got a pretty good chance of surviving quite a few of those. You're fucked with a shotgun, especially at close range. You're gonna explode.
Oh my god! But then
it's just horrible.
You'll see parts of Peter Weller explode here in just a second.
Yeah, it's gruesome.
Yeah, I heard for a long time Peter say he I think certain family members of his cannot watch the scene. For obvious reasons.
Again, I mean, this was the scene that got him the X rating originally.
Yes, it is, man. This is so gruesome. And then, like I said, we're watching the extended cut, so this is going to be even more gruesome. Yeah. I bet that really pisses you off. Yeah. While that's happening, we got my host here has a little bit of a break, so I'm going to go ahead and narrate the movie as going along here. And all poor Murphy thinks is called Clarence Slime, which is another big thing from the 80s. Like, I don't know what it is about calling people slime ball and scumbag and shit like that, but it's very 80s. And now Clarence is toying with him with the shotgun, doing the little voice. And we get to our,
This is heartbreaking.
This is heartbreaking. And boom! Oh, blows off his hand. And yeah, this is extended cut, so you see a little bit more of him like walking around with a bloody stump of a hand. Man. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
honestly, it's not that unrealistic.
It's not unrealistic at all.
It's pretty accurate.
It's grotesque.
Grotesquely accurate.
Yeah. And now they're gonna have their fun with him, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is even now. I've seen this a million times. It's still hard to watch.
Yeah.
Blow off his arm with a shotgun.
That might be slightly exaggerated, but not by much.
Yeah, but still, now they just tearing his ass apart with those shotguns. Look at that. Jesus.
Yeah, and about right there, he's the only part that's getting really unrealistic right now is at this point he wouldn't have any lungs left.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be screaming.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be the flak jacket takes the brunt of it, but still, like. The rest of them is,
I still don't believe that's a real flak jacket.
Yeah, to the point. To the point where he's down on the ground now. It's supposed to be
actually survive.
It's supposed to be they took out his kneecaps and shit. And now we see. Oh yeah, this is another thing they took out the puppet here, and boom, see his head exploding and shit.
The headshot.
Yeah. Now in the theatrical cut, they took out the puppet. For obvious reasons, they left a little bit of the head, the brain exploding, but they took out the puppet.
Oh yeah, they had to pull it back. But I mean, that happens with any violent film. I mean, they talk about even just going country to country.
Now Lewis comes in way too late and sees his blood
just in time to see her handiwork.
Yeah, Lewis, you made a really horrible decision, and now you realize that your partner's dead on his first day. Because of you. Yeah, I can't. No,
I gotta blame her.
I have no sympathy for this.
It was a horrible tactic.
It was a bad move.
It was the worst tactical decision.
And she made that decision. Now this guy is dead.
But she was the senior.
Oh my god! Look at that, splattered, parts of him everywhere. Now we get him to the medevac,
which. If it wasn't for the Robocop program, there's no reason to medevac him.
At all.
Because, I mean, after all that, there's nothing left.
But yeah, and this is another great musical part here, with the orchestral thing. And it starts putting in a little bit of the machine part because of the fact that, this is kind of the initial thing of
it gets like vaguely industrial.
Of Murphy becoming RoboCop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we were interrupted by a phone here.
That was my bad.
No, yeah, it is bad. It is bad.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. And actually, funny enough, this ER team here, this is actually a real ER team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
in Dallas?
Yeah, and they're all the dialogue here is improvised.
No, that's cool.
So they're doing it like as an actual emergency.
Like they'd actually do?
Yeah.
That's always good casting, though.
That's great casting.
When you can bring in like people who actually do it.
Yeah. But as this is happening, we see Murphy's life flash before his eyes. You see this thing with his son. And his son's favorite show, TJ Laser. Looks so dumb.
Yep.
That's a dumb show, I'm sorry.
We'd watch it, though.
Yeah, we'd watch it.
What's really crazy is if it wasn't for these flashback scenes, you wouldn't even know that was his family.
I love this scene here where the thing is like flowing away. You see his family just going further and further away.
As though his family just waves to him every day on his way to work.
Yeah.
Kind of makes them like the weird asshole family.
Yeah, but it's so sad, though.
It is sad, but
just
the way they put it together.
Because of what it represents is his family going away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to resuscitate him, and you see all the different faces of the different members of the gang.
Yeah.
As they're shooting him up like crazy. Still trying to resuscitate him. You see more members.
Now, I gotta say, just from the wide shots and everything, the way they did the makeup and all this and any kind of puppetry and anything else, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is hyper realistic.
I like this. Is like, he was like, let's just shock a flat line and give up. Pretty much just let the audience know, Murphy's done.
Yeah.
And last shot.
Yep.
Fades to black. And actually, they give his time of death.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
6:15. Yeah. And then white noise.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up white noise.
Then here comes Robocop.
Yeah, I love this shit.
Waking up.
Yeah. That is so cool. Mm-hmm. And you see from his perspective him being created, basically.
Yep.
Which is cool. Yeah, and you see the rolling here. The screen rolling. Now, in terms of the actual design of Robocop, like I said, the look of Robocop was inspired largely by Judge Dredd. In fact, it's like if you look at some of the early,
it's very similar.
Yeah, if you look at some of the early like clay designs of Robocop, it looked almost exactly like Judge Dredd. But they changed it up a little bit. They also looked at like other characters like Iron Man and another character named Rom the Space Knight. Now, funny enough, the storyline of Rom is very similar to Robocop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like this.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this one soldier who's a volunteer to do this program, or whatever, who turns into what they call a space knight, this like robotic body. They take parts of his cerebrum and pretty much integrate it into this robotic body, very much identical to Robocop.
Which actually, of all the, I know I got to stick with it. Of all the cyborg films, this is still my favorite.
No, one big influence that a lot of people don't talk about for Robocop, that I love. I don't know if you ever heard of a show called 8 Man.
I don't think so.
It's a Japanese anime. I think.
I haven't done.
I think it says the very first cyborg superhero for Japan, and the storyline of 8 Man is almost identical to Robocop. And this character was created like in the '60s.
Okay.
Same thing as like this cop who gets injured. His body gets taken to the scientists. They integrate his body into his super body, and he becomes 8 Man. And actually, it's a really dope anime if you ever get a chance to look at it, folks, on YouTube called 8 Man After. Came out around '94. Look at that movie. You see a lot of Robocop.
I have to say, of all my montage moments from any 80s, 90s film, this is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Because it's the least like a montage, but it's still technically a montage.
And you see like all the people having the New Year's Eve party and the girl kissing the screen.
Well, and it's actually a really great way to show the passage of time.
But I love this scene right here. This is actually Rob Boutein's idea.
Okay.
Where they don't show Robocop initially. And like you see Bob Moore and say, we have the latest in technology, onboard a computer system memory, and a lifetime of on-the-street programming. It's my great pleasure to present to you Robocop. And you see him looking at it from his perspective. Mm-hmm. Go Robo. And look, so some extras move, and you see the monitor, you see Robocop for the first time. Yeah. That was Rob Boutein's idea.
That was a great idea.
Yeah. And then you see in a couple seconds here, they seclude him even more in the next coming scene where he's like behind the glass and all this shit.
Yeah, well, and it makes for a really great, a really great visualization to kind of help sell the isolation of what he's actually going through. Because I mean, this could easily just be like we talked about, like a really bad B movie or like a cartoon or something.
Yeah.
But they worked so hard to make sure that they were covering the humanity of it that you can actually still connect with your protagonist.
Yeah. And like you see all the people coming in, putting in the equipment for OCP, and he's like, "This is bullshit."
That's kind of his catchphrase, isn't it? In this film,
like
everything's got
bullshit or scumbag.
Yep.
But yeah, look at this shit. Foom, foom, foom. Robocop coming in through the.
Peter Weller will only respond to Robo.
Dude, look how big. Yeah, I mean he's not that big realistically, but look how big he looks.
Yeah, especially in the
how they shoot it. He looks like he's like 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Really, he's 5'10" and a half, but yeah, still.
Yeah, I mean he's it's not like trying to make Tom Cruise look like that.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like all the cops just like, what the hell is this? And like even they're like, oh, yeah, he looks so huge. He's a very small, slim guy.
Be his partner.
Yeah, he's a very small, slim guy.
Yeah. No, he really is. He's actually he's very, very much a gaunt figure. He's like a beanpole.
Yeah, but actually, what happened was Peter Weller actually hired a dude named Moni Yakin from the movement department of Juilliard to help him create the movement of Robocop in the Robocop suit. Now, initially, they envisioned Robocop moving like a snake, like very smooth and very fluid and whatnot. But because they actually got the suit and it was so heavy, and Moni Yakin told him to slow everything down. This is not a snake anymore. This is a beast. Like you got to articulate everything, and which you see in Peter Weller as he moves. Like
everything really is slow.
Move the chest, move the head, then you do all the other shit. Yeah, so and it helps with the performance because it makes it unique. I've never seen like nothing like this before, like in terms of robot movement.
Yeah,
like look at that. Like he looks completely like you just see servos and goddamn joints and shit.
You know the other thing I noticed as we're looking at him, we got the first really good close up of his face.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like the alien in Alien.
Oh yeah, with the head.
Yeah, with the way they shaped his skull and everything.
Yeah,
especially with that neck flap piece coming up.
Yeah,
makes him look kind of crazy.
And you hear the first recitation of the prime directive, serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law, which apparently was supposed to be similar to the Isaac Asimov rules of robotics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I got them right here.
Yeah, the first rule of robotics.
The first rule of robotics is a robot may not injure a human being through inaction or allow a human being to come to harm. Second one, a robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders will conflict with the first law. Mm-hmm. And the third one, a robot must protect its existence as long as protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. So I can see that, yeah.
And Lewis is an okay shot.
But we get the first shot of the Robocop gun.
Yep.
Dude, I love this gun. Look how big it is.
It's basically like a semi-auto.
I stopped myself because I realized that's what she said, Joe. I don't know why you didn't jump up on that.
You did kind of walk in.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't say nothing. It's so big. Oh shit! Apparently, it's the gun itself is like a reformed Beretta. Let me get the exact nomenclature of it. Yeah. So they modified it.
Well, the sound effect, they make it big enough, it feels like it's basically a Desert Eagle or something bigger.
Mm-hmm. That was, like I said, the Desert Eagle was supposed to be his original gun, but they actually put it in his hand and it looked tiny. So they had to go with something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, he does have big mitts.
Yes, he does. Find a damn gun thing. Sorry about the rifle under the nose. I'm looking for the gun shit. There we go. All right. So the gun itself, the Auto 9 is what they call it, is actually a modified Beretta M9 3. Oh yeah, I forgot this scene here we just saw. Well, that was actually Peter Weller's first day as Robocop.
When he catches the keys and walks out.
The thing about it is,
it makes sense though because his movements were more fluid.
But the part about it was, it took him like 10 hours to get into the suit that first day, and that was the only thing they shot that whole day was just that one scene of him catching them keys.
I bet because it
take
a long time.
They couldn't get it right. It was like 50 takes
of him catching the thing,
trying to catch the keys, and then finally he anticipated and got it.
Well, look at
that was the end of the day.
Well, look at the way his vision is restricted with that helmet. Like they're lucky he caught it once.
Exactly. You see another. I got that for $1. They're loving this stupid show.
Which makes it less stupid than every other show.
Look, if you look at the comic books there, you see an Iron Man comic book, you see Rom comic books. And this dude here, the robber, is actually the stunt coordinator of the movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. He's like, give me the money and all of it, and don't fuck with me. Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Empty the safe, Pops. Empty the goddamn safe.
I don't know that I'd be holding the gun all the way out there like he is, but...
Yeah, hey.
You know, he's a stunt coordinator. He can decide.
Is that criminals aren't exactly known for their, style.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fucked up here. What she called him, I'll blow her brains out, man. Now, apparently, the whole thing was about to happen now with him being knocked through the goddamn thing. That was actually his idea.
The stunt coordinator?
Yeah.
It seems like a stunt coordinator's idea.
Actually, there's another thing that they don't show here in this scene. There's supposed to be a little kid in there stealing a candy bar in the original script. But this happens, and then the kid sees what happens when you fuck around with the cops, and he goes up to the counter.
Puts the candy bar back?
Yeah, goes to the he goes to the counter after. He's like, how much for this, please? But it's supposed to be a little kid here. Thank God the kid wasn't there. Boom! Thank you for your cooperation. Good night. I buy that for $1. Now we go. Now this is another little montage here. Same thing, very 80s. But this is kind of similar to Superman the movie, where it's like the first little montage you see him, his first night on the job, saving different people. Now you see this lady here getting accosted by these two fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, so what we're about to see right here, when she spreads her legs and he ends up shooting the guy and the generals behind him.
Yeah.
If I remember, that was actually her idea.
Yeah, well, actually, it's more. From what I read, it was actually Paul Verhoeven's idea.
Was it Paul's?
So what he did, he had the actor had the lady up, and Paul apparently noticed how the lady's legs were spread. And the initial thing in the script was that
he shoot him in the face.
He shoot right past her face. Yeah, but then he saw how her legs were spread. He's like, shoot her down there, and then at the same time, you can fucking demasculate this criminal.
Yeah, which is, it's
more appropriate for this particular thing that they're trying to do. Yep. You let the woman go, you're under arrest. Actually, funny enough, this is the very first scene I've ever seen of a Robocop movie.
This one right here?
Right here. This is the very first scene. I was a little kid when I saw this shit, too. Yeah, point between the legs, and right in the jump. Well, you deserve that.
Seriously.
What you was about to do, man? You deserve that shit.
Yep.
Your move, creep.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and give up.
Yeah, I would suggest that. Yeah. And she's so happy, but he ain't really about that life no more.
Yeah, he's like, I'm kind of a little bit busy. Just go home.
Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center. Yeah.
She's like, this is weird.
That's so LA. Look at that.
I was gonna say it's kind of Chicago.
That's LA, dude.
Because I've driven. It's the area that's underneath over by the Opera House.
It's downtown LA. Yeah.
Yeah, this right here is definitely downtown.
Yeah, this is Dallas right here.
Oh, is this one?
This is Dallas.
Shit.
Him driving is LA.
No, I got mixed up because I was looking at the area behind you, right, with that courthouse out front.
Yes.
I was looking back behind.
Now, actually, and another thing from the media break that they kind of cut out, this whole thing with this Councilman Ron Miller, they actually showed the scene of him getting kicked out initially in the media break in the original script.
Well, I mean, you got to cut some stuff for time.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have that, strong of a budget behind you.
Yeah. And this is another thing here, which you mentioned earlier, like when he would get out of the car, he's so big in that Robocop suit he couldn't fit completely in the car. So you see him getting out of the car initially, he has no pants on. Yeah. But you see the wide shot, he's in full uniform, but you see him only partially get out of the car. Yeah,
they had to cut and paste this thing together.
Yeah, man. And this character here, Lieutenant Hedgecock, the guy, the ride dude, or whatever, who's supposed to be the hostage negotiator, who's terrible at it, by the way.
Yeah.
That actor is also in Beverly Hills Cop.
Was he in Beverly Hills Cop?
He was the hotel manager. Remember, like, it's a suite, but we only have to give you the single room rate. He's the hotel manager.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, that character actually would extend to the RoboCop cartoon, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Marvel Studios at the time did a cartoon of RoboCop, and that character Hedgecock is like one of the main villains because he hates RoboCop. Yeah, this dude here like Ron Miller, like, I want a new office, I want a new car, I want the city to pay for it. No, but dude, you're a terrorist.
You just killed somebody.
They're
You're
not
getting
gonna fucking conform to your stupid ass for demands. Oh, you talk about a car. I want someone with reclining leather seats that goes really fast and gets really shitty gas mileage. You want that?
Well, yeah.
What about cruise control? Let's go with cruise control. Oh, yeah, no problem, Miller. You let the mark who even throwing a blow punt. I didn't know what a blow punt is for years, and then I looked at I was in my dad's car. He had a Celica, and then I saw a stereo was a blow punt. Like, oh, that's what that is.
I just found out right now.
Yeah, this is a stereo.
I didn't know.
It's car stereo. That's what it is.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, this whole thing here with the
thermal imaging.
Yeah, that was actually done with like paint and like naked actors. So
Sounds about right.
yeah, well, I love this shit. They stole this in Iron Man. Where he punches through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, boom, boom. They totally ripped. Iron Man totally ripped this off.
It's technically an homage.
It is, but still.
Right? Isn't that what they say it is?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like when it like it's in Iron Man 1. It's like a scene in a village, and he does the same shit with like a terrorist. So this is kids at Lee Iacocca Elementary School.
You know what? He seems like the kind of guy who might have donated some money before.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then kids see it, and I love that the kids get to see in person what their parents only read about in comic books. Mm-hmm. Robo, do you have any message for the kids out there? Stay out of trouble. Yeah, I would take that seriously, kids. Mm-hmm. Like you either don't, and you have to deal with him.
Have you seen him kill a few people?
Yeah. You might want to take that seriously. Yeah. And I forget. Now they got some more war shit. I love this shit here. Butler Brothers game. Nuke them. Get them before they get you.
I would play that game.
Yeah, like a Parker Brothers game.
Yeah.
It's very much like Battleship, but with nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Like, really? Boom, boom. Look at all the fun they're having playing with nuclear weapons. I love this movie, man. It's so weird.
It's great.
Yeah. Now, because of the success of Robocop, they're going to go forward with the building of Delta City. Yeah. And Bob Moore now, as you see, has moved up in the world. He's now a vice president.
Well, I mean, if you do that well with something like a Robocop, you should be vice president.
I love his little line here, too. He's like, we in Security Council protect in the crime and old trouble within 90 days. And look in the camera, there's a new guy in town. His name's Robocop. Love that line, man.
Oh, yeah.
But you see Bob, hey, things are going good for Bob.
He's upgraded to a pinstripe.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? People, he's moving up in the world, got a little more money. Now he's got the key to the executive washroom and all the other shit. And, yeah. Welcome to the club, Bob. Yeah.
I will say that for what's supposed to be something of a Fortune 500 company, there's a surprising amount of neon in their corporate offices.
Yeah, well, you know.
But it was the 80s.
It's somebody's interpretation of what a corporate office looks like.
In the 80s.
Now, Bob Morton was initially conceived to be this like stereotypical corporate executive, arrogant, unpleasant, unlikable. But when Miguel Ferrer had signed up and they saw his performance, he kind of made it more of a charismatic, kind of likable character. So they realized, so they made him into a likable asshole.
Yeah.
Which he is. So, but oh boy. I love this dude here where he's like cuts off midstream because he's so scared of Dick Jones he actually pisses his pants. Like, you're a grown man. Like, come on, dude.
Everybody else is running away from Dick Jones while they're sitting there bad mouthing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, y'all a bunch of pussies, man.
He's like, I don't care. He didn't know I'm after him. I got the only successful project. Mine's better than his.
I love how threatening Dick Jones is here too. Like, just kind of, I used to call the old man names too. Iron Butt, Boner. Once I even called him asshole. And it was supposed to impress him.
Boner.
But there's always respect. I always knew where the line was. And you just crossed it, buddy boy.
Such an 80s conversation.
Yeah.
Calling him boner or asshole.
Being a tough guy. But saying asshole like it's supposed to really impress him.
See? I can talk dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
I know naughty words Mommy told me not to say.
That's exactly how it sounds. Ooh.
It's so juvenile.
Ooh. That's an asshole. Ooh. Look at me. I'm a bad person.
So bad.
Yeah, like
I might even stay up past 10 tonight.
Watch an R-rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, something with boobs in it.
But no, I'm going to watch it on television so they cut the swears out. That's how come I know to say yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. That is the best.
I'm sorry, folks,
ever.
but AJ is killing me right now. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. I love this little slightly seductive thing he's doing with his hair here.
It's so. It starts out sexual and then gets
Really aggressive.
really sexual and aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. I like this little thing. You better pray that bastard creation of yours does not screw up.
Well,
that's another little allegory to another favorite and another influence on this movie, Frankenstein. That's why I've always seen Robocop as. It's like a kind of a modern Frankenstein movie. What if Frankenstein was made by Ford Motors?
yeah, basically.
Yeah, so yeah. And then the whole thing of him being created, and like this whole, like, and then having to deal with this new existence as this creature with, like you're a unique creature in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a man, but you're not a man. You're a machine,
This whole thing with them watching,
but you're not a machine.
Watching the sleep disturbances or the power down disturbances and everything, like even that's pretty interesting.
Him sleep looks weird though. And little spasms here.
Yeah.
And you see on the screen,
And they're just totally ignoring.
I know, yeah.
It's like,
but you see on the screen, you see his dreams and shit.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Yeah, and he having the flashback of him getting killed. Ugh, still gruesome, man. And then the thing, he's having the flashback and he's feeling it.
Yep.
Which is even worse.
And
man.
meanwhile, they're just slurping down their Coke and fries.
Yeah.
And totally ignoring it.
And
he's got to be making noise as big as he is.
You can tell by the big ass Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they finally see it. What was that?
You know who helped fund this thing with that big Coke can in her Coke glass in her hand?
I'm guessing Pepsi.
Yeah. It was a Dr. Pepper movie.
And then they always they making fun of him and calling him names, calling him Bucket Boy and shit like that. Like, I can kill all of you.
Seriously.
I literally can. And for no real reason, really. And then he's like, stop, hold on, like you gonna stop him. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, bro.
He's like, I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
And, do you want me to be a 24-hour cop?
And like, just left. He just left. Like, yeah, he just left.
What'd you want me to do?
Yeah. And then they're just like panicking now. Like, this has never happened before. He just up and leave. Looking at all the different little schematics and different little monitors and shit and try to figure out what's going on.
Did anybody record his dreams?
That's a good question. It was on screen.
They should have.
Yeah.
I would have if you think you're getting what he's receiving.
Yeah.
Should be recording everything.
And old Guilt Trip Lewis.
First time she realizes, oh hey, maybe that's my buddy I got killed.
And completely screws him up too.
Yep.
Like, you screwed him up in both forms.
Basically, she's just a bad luck charm any way you cut it.
Yeah, because now he realizes, it's more to me than just being a robot. And she's doing this hoping that, he remembers her, which he doesn't. Mm-hmm. But he will eventually. Like, don't you have a name? Like you sitting there smiling, shit. You have no remorse about me being killed. Murphy, it's you. And that triggers him. You know what I'm saying? That's what you call a trigger. Backing up. Like, I have to leave.
Don't you remember anything?
I'm sorry. I have to leave. Somewhere there's a crime happening. I like that line though. What did you say? What did you say? Nothing.
Liar.
Yeah, you did say something. you said something. You said something, obviously.
You said too much.
Yeah, way too much. And you triggered the robot.
There he was, Peter Weller pantsless, getting in the car.
Triggered the robot, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You're in big trouble. Big trouble. Like you're executive. I'm a cop.
Yeah, why are you pushing?
Yeah. Why are you pushing me around? I'm a cop.
Yeah, seriously. If I was a cop, I'd be like, why don't you just get out of my face?
Bro, what you doing?
I'd be like, technically, you touched me. That's assault.
Yeah. All right, so going back to the gun a little bit, the Robocop gun. So apparently it had selective fire modes on it. That's why they picked the Beretta, because it had that option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it can be semi-automatic and be a 3-round burst. The 3-round burst is obviously what they use all the time.
Yeah.
Now the basic design of it is more or less apparently Ed Neumeyer said to the gunsmith that he wanted it to look like a sarcophagus or like a coffin. That's why it's so big. It
doesn't really look like a coffin.
It doesn't really, but that's what he wanted. Now, when they were testing it out, the gunsmith, the dude that created it or whatever, I think it's a dude named Texas named Ray Williams.
Okay.
That's the dude that created the Robocop gun. And to test it out, they actually went up into like a hotel when they first got the gun. He's like, "Hey man, you want to test it out? Like, we're shooting here." Like, yeah, sure. So they got some blanks, went to the bathroom and shot that shit off. Set out the fire alarm.
Of course they did.
And got gunpowder all over all over the bathroom.
How are you a gunsmith and you don't think about that?
Yeah, and they also, because of the fact this is a whole new type of gun, it actually had to be cleared by the FBI as a prop for a movie.
I think was it the FBI or the ATF?
I think it's I have.
Because it's usually ATF.
I have it. I see why you say ATF. I have here FBI.
Well, whatever. They had to get federal clearance.
Yes.
Because when you start playing around with anything that's got a full auto mode, it's a mess, even in the movie world.
Yeah, exactly. I like this the guy with the gun here.
And an old boy sitting there trying to do his physics homework. Like, oh.
Apparently the homework or whatever the guy studied is what Verhoeven studied in college. So.
Well, at least it came in handy after he became a director.
Yeah. He's like bragging like, I can kill you from here, man. I just want to get some gas. I swear to God, I can kill you from here.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah. You see the Crime in Progress, Robocop going down there. He's still fucking with him, even though he's cooperating.
Well, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna die sometime.
You a college boy or something? Huh?
Oh, it's plane geometry. That's
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, see how smart you are, huh? Can you outsmart a bullet? Huh? Keeps fucking with the dude. Like, dude, leave him alone. You got what you want.
Everything you needed.
You see the bullet? Mm-hmm. Wow. I don't notice that before, the bullet. Yeah, that's Peter Weller driving up in that car. Peter Weller without pants. Peter Weller with pants.
Could actually call this movie Peter Weller with Pants.
And then we get another utterance of "Dead or alive, you're coming with me," and that triggers the bad guy. Now, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, I've heard that before.
I thought I killed you.
Yeah, you're dead. We killed you.
I don't think so. Yeah. Oh wait, I remember you.
Yeah, we killed you. And then it's the same thing with Lewis. And Lewis say, "Murphy is you. Now he is this. You're dead. So who am I?" Mm-hmm. Yeah, starting to question his identity here, man. You're making Robocop question himself. That's not fair.
That's bad.
Why is that gas pink?
I don't know. Does it look better on film?
I guess.
Doesn't gas always look pink better on film?
I don't know. Why is it? Yeah, that's weird. Oh yeah, and apparently they made a Robocop suit specifically for this one scene. It's like made out of like fiberglass. Yeah, you see the Robocop suit here? Yeah, it's made out of fiberglass. With a stunt man in here walking through this explosion.
Yep.
Now we see Peter Weller coming from the same explosion. Mm-hmm. Boom! Oh, wow, man.
Road Rash City.
Oh my God, Broken Bone City, dude. Mm-hmm. You see how he landed?
That stuntman did not get enough of an adjustment for that. I don't care how much they paid him.
No, sir.
Oh, good Lord.
And now he's starting to, who are you? Question him after the fact. Yeah, he's in shock, bro.
He's in shock and he's got a massive head trauma.
Who are you? He's not going to be able to answer, bro. Not now. Yeah, but now Robocop's starting to question himself. See him in the, look at all these computer banks.
I know. And back then, that's about the same amount of computing power as in your iPhone now.
Look at all these computer banks. No, you can't help me. This Cecil trying to boss around Robocop, that's not going to work, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
At all. Wait just a minute here, Butter. I'm like, this is a restricted area. And get the first shot of the spike. Phew. Now the spike itself is actually a two-man thing. It's two separate parts. Neither one were ever integrated into the actual costume itself. Now what had happened was like he would put his hand down, somebody would come up with the spike, it'd be a whole little hand or whatever. You can actually see footage of the hand like with the person behind it, like in certain shots or whatever. Yeah,
but this thing right here that they're using to access computer mainframe and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's straight up rip off out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like that's R2-D2 all day long.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah.
Right?
But now we see the first shot of like Emil Antonowski.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of a last name. And known associates of Emil. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, it's him.
Oh, I know that
Leon.
guy.
I know that guy. Leon Nash. Know that guy. Joe Nash. Yeah. Know that guy, Steve Mann. And I definitely know this motherfucker, Clarence Bodiger. I love how the music like it had builds to the reveal of Alex Murphy. And suspected in Murphy, suspecting the murder of who's Murphy?
That seems normal. Is that me?
Yeah,
Let's look.
I've heard that name before. I wonder what he looks like.
I've seen that guy in my dreams.
And we see Alex Murphy. Look at that, his headshot of Alex Murphy.
Of course, he has a headshot.
But the hitter here is deceased.
Yep.
Damn. And close up of Alex and close up of his
Address.
Yes, Primrose Lane in Detroit, Michigan. That's a very nice neighborhood for Detroit.
Well, it's not Detroit, it's Primrose.
It's supposed to be in Detroit.
I know.
But that's a very nice neighborhood. From what I've seen in Detroit is
That's
like,
probably closer to like Birmingham.
I'm about to say, from what I've seen in Detroit looks like hell on earth.
Well, no, but I mean, if you go to like Birmingham, which is like a suburb outside of Detroit,
Yeah.
like it's more like this kind of a thing. Which actually, they've got a killer cigar shop there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Churchill's. That place is legit.
Also, another inspiration for Peter Weller's performance in terms of the exaggerated movement is Robocop. Apparently, Moni Yakin had him look up a movie called Ivan the Terrible. And apparently the actor in there, Nikolai Cherkasov, apparently was moving that way in the movie. So it really was an inspiration for Peter Weller's Robocop. And now we see our first flashback of him in the home as it used to be.
Prior to his death and disappearance.
And see his son, Jimmy, who is, and they're watching his favorite TV show, TJ Laser.
On a ridiculous television cart.
Wow. Can you do that, Dad? Oh, look at that tube television.
This place is like chic black and white for that little neighborhood. The interior doesn't match the exterior at all.
No, it doesn't.
Plus with this little computer thing all over the place.
Yeah, it keeps telling you, hey, why don't you check out this house? And I'm like,
It's a
shut up.
really interesting little setup for, I guess, what's supposed to be a...
Working class family.
Yeah, and what the hell is with that world-class husband mug that's all broken?
Well, it's supposed to be something maybe the family gave him or some bullshit.
Well, I know,
like
but I
that.
mean, it's just like this weird state of like semi-destruction in the home.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
Like,
you're
stuff burned, like,
you're
the rest of the home's
supposed to
not
be
burned
selling
down.
this house.
Yeah.
Why is all this fucked up shit still in here?
And like all the like dead flowers and stuff over by the fireplace.
Yeah, you see the little family photo here.
Yeah.
Aww. Like I said, this next one right here, this is the kicker.
Yeah.
We see his wife in the bedroom, and she's like, I really want to tell you something. I love you. And it looks like they're about to have an intimate moment, and then she disappears.
And then he comes back to it.
Yeah. That life is gone for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Damn. Look at the look on his face, too.
Yeah. It may be his most human moment once he's made the switch over to Robo.
No, I think it's those humans moment when he takes off the helmet. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
maybe.
That's my opinion. Yeah, he's pissed
You know,
off.
with him in the helmet, that was his most human moment for sure.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and
he
he said this scene here was actually the most dangerous scene in the movie.
because you can't see and it's dark,
and he's got no pants on,
and he's wearing that stinking helmet.
and he cannot see any of the steps as he's going down here.
Yeah. He's just got to trust all the extras, get out of the way, and
And you see some girl with her boobs out. Like a lot of punk music. I think the name of the song actually here is what is it? Is it? Yeah, I actually got the name of the song. Oh yeah, it's "Show Me Your Spine" by PTP. So you don't want to look at the song from RoboCop. "Show Me Your Spine," which is a really fucked up name for a song. And we also have our director cameo right here. That is Paul Verhoeven.
That was great.
Yeah. So weird.
Oh, he grabs him by his
The hair and drags him out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just clapping and cheering and shit. Like, yeah, all right, cool.
Well, yeah, man. If it's punk, I mean, the fact that they don't have a better pick going on with people like stomping each other is ridiculous.
Another 80s thing, cocaine.
I don't think it's just an '80s thing.
But particularly cocaine. Though. Look at all this cocaine, man.
It was definitely big in the '80s. I'll give you that. It made Columbia.
True, it's not exclusively an 80s thing because I guess some club stores. I'll tell you, we'll start writing the bouncer. But yeah, I guess a lot of.
I think you've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, I have. Like, dude, seriously, like, hey, you want? And actually, I've been offered like, hey, you want a bump? Like, what the fuck?
Was that Liberty Insurance? We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Or no, was it Nationwide? Whichever one it was.
We are farmers.
Oh yeah, farmers. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it is. I like this here, getting some cocaine at the cleavage.
That's a ridiculous 80s thing.
Yeah. And hey, someone's at the door. That must be the champagne. No, it's not.
Nope, you wish.
No, it's not. Unfortunately,
Throw your whole night through a loop.
Sorry, you gonna call me? Shut up. Oh yeah, apparently, like I said, Paul Verhoeven did not really get American slang. So, like, when he says the scene here, by the way, I hope I'm not offending anybody what I'm about to say. This is the scene where he says "bitches leave."
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Paul Verhoeven did not get the concept of bitches, so he just repeatedly kept calling those actresses bitches. Okay, bitches, you come in, and then bitches, you stay here. You're like,
Didn't understand.
bitches, when you leave, like he just kept saying that, and then apparently Miguel Ferrer and Kurtwood Smith were just dying laughing because, like, dude, no, you're not supposed to say that. And then Bob Morton here. I mean, I'm sorry, Dick Jones here gloating via DVD. Early, this is 80s, so it's Laserdisc.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, he was actually on the CD, but they're setting it up like it was
like a Laserdisc.
To make it look like they were ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah, and then I like he's like the best part about it is we could have been friends. So he actually had a setup in his office. We can make this video. Look at that, the background and all.
The way he just hung the ring on that grenade too.
Oh yeah, that was a Kurtwood Smith innovation too. And of course, Paul Verhoeven being Paul Verhoeven loved it. Let's do that, yes, and so that's yes. So, there's and he's gloating. Think of this as life. There's a winner and there's a loser. And now we're about to lose poor Bob Morton. I'm cashing you out, Bob. And he reaches for the grenade, but he can't reach it in time. Messed up. Boom. Bye, Bob Morton.
That was a hell of a grenade. It was more like a plastic explosive.
Yeah, but either way, got the job done. Now we're here at the cocaine plant. Everybody just...
As one would find in Detroit.
Yeah, the cocaine assembly line.
Innovative and
It's so damn stupid.
amazing business.
Cocaine assembly line. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at the absurdity of that. A cocaine assembly line. Everybody just sitting there chilling. You got the mask on. Just happy. It was just doing work. Regular stuff.
Yeah, that's what we do. We got a cocaine plant around here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm making good money at it, I guess.
Yeah, man. He's trying to sell his product to Sal or whatever. But
It's a hell of a good mustache.
yes, it is, man. Whatever Sal is. I know the actor behind him, the big guy in the brown shirt here, the stuntman. I know I've seen a stuntman in a bunch of other movies.
Yeah, he got around.
Yeah, they have a very distinct face, like the pug, like kind of pug puppy dog face or whatever. I've seen him. I've seen him before, man. I've seen this actor before too. I forgot what else.
He has a very Chicago look about him, doesn't he? Like he should be a cop in a Chicago movie.
Probably was a cop in the Chicago movie. No, you know where I know him from?
What?
He was in fucking Over the Top.
Who was he in Over the Top?
He was one of Robert Loggia's guys. That's what it is. Yeah. You know how Robert Loggia had like a little army of dudes that worked for him? He was one of Robert Loggia's guys.
Really?
That's where I saw him from. Yeah. Him and Terry Funk.
Sorry, that moment. He dips his finger in his wine, just puts it on his nose. The guy's like,
That's so gross.
I'll still drink it anyway.
That's gross.
You stuck your fingers in it. God knows what you've been into.
Exactly. Blow this cocksucker's head off.
The alcohol kills it. That's fine.
Ooh, guns. Clarence is a sick man.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I love this scene here. This is probably like in terms of action, this is my favorite scene of the movie.
And that guy would grow up to be Eric Foreman's dad.
Yeah. Actually, there's a blooper.
Really?
No, there's a blooper where Ashton Kutcher says that, like, hey, come on, man, your dad killed Robocop.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I love Kurtwood.
And actually,
he's a great actor.
funny enough, another Ashton Kutcher blooper. Here's another similar one. Some movie he did with Terrence Stamp. And Terrence, he's like, hey, man, like, your dad killed Superman. Your dad beat up Superman, right?
I love how he just does this quick targeting all the way around, and then it's like, all right, speed shot.
Now, apparently, this is one of Peter Weller's favorite scenes of the movie.
Oh yeah, well, because this is probably his most badass moment.
Exactly, and then apparently he had headphones on during this whole thing. And he was
just listening to music.
Yeah, he's listening specifically to Peter Gabriel's "Red Rain" as this was going down. As this is going down. And the thing about it is, this whole scene was not supposed to be as fast cut. It wasn't supposed to have as many cuts as it does have. But all these automatic guns kept jamming up.
Yeah, well, you got to work around it too. Because the other thing people don't think about if they've never been around guns, you see how quickly, aside from the powder that they're flown in the air to make it look like cocaine.
But I just love Robocop going full cowboy here, man.
You have so much smoke.
Yeah.
From lighting off those blanks.
Yeah. A little. That's the trademark RoboCop shot. The no look. He's taking these fools out, man. And actually, Kurtwood Smith said this is the one scene where he felt the most sorry for Peter Weller because of all the things you just said, all the smoke and all that shit. Because he could,
he really can't see it. It's going to be getting slick on that floor.
But he said he could barely breathe in there. He could only imagine what was happening for Peter.
Yeah.
Man. And now that I see it too, because it's right over his nose.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got a little bit of vengeance right there.
Yeah, you got one of them.
Joe Cox is down.
Joe Cox is down. Steve is dead. Mm-hmm. And apparently, this part right here, the actual producers of the movie were actually concerned that cops would hate their portrayal in this movie.
They actually loved it.
Yeah, this particular scene,
specifically because of this scene.
This scene is the one that cops love the most. He's reading them as Miranda rights as he's throwing them through the window.
Yep.
You have the right to remain silent. Spits in his face. Another Kurtwood thing. Boom. Mm-hmm. Through window one. And he's now starting to beg and yeah, he's serious. Yes, he is. You have a right to an attorney. Through window two. And you see the windows kind of exploding right before he hits it.
Yeah. Well, because even that breakaway glass, you've got to start it, otherwise you can still get hurt because it's still heavy.
Yes, it is. I only had it. They actually tested it on me once for a movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they actually broke it over my head. It wasn't that bad, but still, yeah.
Was it a bottle?
No, it was like a plate of glass.
Oh really? Oh, that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that sugar glass. I mean, it'll crumple pretty good, but still.
Yeah. It broke it over my head once. Now he's fully confessing. He's Dick Jones, man. He's number 2 guy on OCP. That's my boss. Mm-hmm. OCP run the cops. He about to choke his ass to death here, but then that prime directive comes up I can't kill him. Not like this anyway. Directive 3, uphold the law. I can't just kill him like this. I want to, but I can't. I love the little moment. He's you're a cop. Yes, I am a cop. Mm-hmm. Kind of like underline the difference between him.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like that whole thing always comes up with Batman, right? They're always you have one rule you can't break. Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of thing there, which makes it kind of comic book, even though it's not.
You know what a Batman movie we should do? Fucking, you ever seen Under the Red Hood?
No.
Dude, we should watch that. Since we just talked about that.
Under the Red Hood?
There's a dialogue similar to what you just said. So, but now, throw some clearance in. Book him. This is actually my favorite shot right here. This one was my favorite shot of Robocop where he turns around right here. I just love this shot. He's a cop killer.
It's how do you not know what the charge is?
Oh yeah, this right here where he spits the blood on the thing. He says, "Give me my fucking phone call." That was Kurtwood. Kurtwood added a lot to this character.
Like I said, the guy is amazing.
Yeah, he added a lot to this character.
I mean, I know he's getting up there, but he's still working. I'd love to work with him someday.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, that matte painting, by the way, of Detroit was horrible.
And then you see another matte painting here of OCP headquarters make it look like this giant skyscraper. But again, Dallas City Hall. This old GPS.
Dick Jones
with the GPS.
The green dot.
With the GPS. Apparently, the dude Rocco Joffrey is the dude that did the map painting here. It is great though.
This one looks good. The other one was a little bit rough, but I don't know if that's entirely his fault.
Yeah. Again, Peter Weller with no pants.
And
Peter Weller with pants.
With pants.
That should be the title.
Peter Weller
Weller with pants. Weller without pants.
Weller with or without pants.
No, you don't do exactly like that. Weller with pants. Weller without pants.
How about Weller with or without pants?
I don't like that.
You like it? You prefer?
No, I like the with pants without pants because it's kind of the joke there.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I
like it. I like it. We'll go with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of W's.
What a wubbies.
What a
wubbies.
What.
It's a whistle. Like the dude on Star Trek, because the Russian dude is the whistles. I love this scene here. This is a very much a Lex Luthor Superman scene right here.
Yep.
Yeah. You are under arrest.
You can't arrest me?
Yeah, no, for what? Aiding and abetting a known felon. Oh, I guess you'll have to arrest me. I will. Yep. So instead of Kryptonite here, we got Director 4. Mm-hmm. But he does do the Kryptonite acting.
He does. It's like he's walking into Kryptonite. It's super Superman.
Kryptonite. What's the matter? Something wrong, officer? I'll tell you what's the matter. Directive 4. My little contribution to your psychological profile. Any attempt to arrest a senior officer of OCP results in shutdown. And he can't fight it. Look at that. Yeah. What you think? You are a real police officer? You're a product. And can't very well have our product turned against us now, can't we? Mm-hmm. Peter Weller's so weird. He does look kind of Arnold here.
A little bit,
yeah. Still a little fight left in you, huh?
He's got the gun out.
Can you lift his gun? Yeah. And I wondered about this too, like, because remember, there's a scene a little later where they're at the warehouse, he's fixing his leg, like, did you bring the gun? So what happened to your gun? Oh, you dropped the gun in the office. You see this? I love this fight here too, with Ed 209 and Robocop, because the music, dun, 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 and just blasting Robocop. Like, now you see our first sign of vulnerability.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Robocop.
You shoot him with a Vulcan cannon.
Yeah, but, it's the first sign of vulnerability to Robocop. Boom! Knocking his ass away, man, dude.
Basically sending an ad after him.
He looks so Lex Luthor here with the coming out of the office while this machine is, like, taking down the superhero. Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's so cool. But you see, Robocop is a little stronger than you would think. Mm-hmm. But you still can't move for shit.
Yeah, come on. I mean, that's the acting part, right?
Yeah, bro, this is a heavy ass suit. That's the can't move. Missiles.
And again, why that would ever show up in an urban policing environment is
yeah. We need that for the streets. That's what's popping in the streets.
It's a purely military product.
Dude, look at this. Oh my god. Yeah. Ed 209 ain't no joke, man. When he can work properly, but here comes Ed 209's weakness. Stairs.
What is that? It was Family Guy.
Yeah.
Stairs, the cripple's natural enemy. He's just like, I don't know what to do. It's stairs. Can I? No. The tread is not ADA appropriate for a robot.
I love Phil Tippett because they right here he steps off miniature. Look at that miniature work though.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The stop motion is insane in this.
The stop motion is insane, but that initial tumble, that was all miniatures.
Yeah.
It looked great. But now we come out, and now we actually have our... This is what I call the Frankenstein moment. Because he comes out, the creature comes out, and you see the villagers with a set of pitchforks and goddamn torches. They got flashlights and guns.
Yeah.
But same objective, try to take down the monster. Prepare to fire. Now the other cops are like, wait, hold on, he's one of us. We have orders to destroy it. Hedgehog, yeah. Yeah, in the cartoon, they're like every other episode has Hedgehog, like, I hate Robocop and all this other shit, so.
Yeah. It's because he's better at his job than he is.
Way better. And there's another fundamental thing of that character in the cartoons that he's constantly coming up with these schemes to undermine Robocop, and in the end, Robocop, of course, looks better as a result of it.
Yeah.
Now he just looks inept and stupid. And now they're moving in with these styrofoam. What? No, why would American cops have
got some insane weaponry?
Why would American cops have styrofoams?
Because Bushmaster was outlawed?
I'm just saying.
It's what happens when you have a foreign director.
Yeah, very much so.
I think I saw this when I was in the military.
Surprised they don't have what they call the gun, the Kalashnikovs and shit.
Yeah,
surprised they don't have those.
Yeah.
I think I did see an AK at one point in here.
Probably.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think I might have seen an M240 in there.
Yeah. But yeah, Robocop down to one knee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they still shooting at the man. He getting away though, going down these damn levels. Mm-hmm. He's down like 3 levels now.
Seriously.
Yeah. And then of course Lewis comes to help him. Guilty Lewis. Justifiably guilty Lewis. Yeah. Yeah. What is that? Oh.
That would be my dog. I don't know if you folks can hear it or not. My dog is upset with me.
Judy, y'all have Mogwai?
It very well may be. Maybe a grandma.
I'm going to leave this house before midnight. All right, the dogs are...
get them
I already folks, the dogs are good now. Now back to the movie.
Well, at least she finally kind of made it up by saving them.
Oh yeah. Also, so this commercial, the dinosaur here, was actually made by the Chiodo brothers.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know the Chiodo brothers are like guys who specialize in claymation, particularly in the 80s. I think the biggest thing is they made the killer clowns from outer space.
Oh, dude. Are you kidding me?
They're those guys.
I didn't realize that.
They made the killer clowns. And also
such a ridiculous
and also the graphics for Michael Jackson's Thriller where like you see the opening graphic and it's like twitching and shit. They made that too.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You gotta watch that. It's because you love clowns.
I have a severe dislike of clowns, okay?
Severe dislike of clowns and a few other things.
Rats. And teeth. Teeth being pulled on film, specifically.
Dude. There was I don't know what it was for, but I saw this thing when I was at NBC Prop House, and it was a bodysuit, and it was, I don't know if it was for some weird fucked up show they had, but the bodysuit was basically all teeth. So head to toe teeth.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It was so disgusting.
It's for a TV show.
It was because it was a TV prop house. I'm sure it was TV, but it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I seen.
It makes my skin crawl just think about it.
I know. I seen some dude post some shit about it on like Instagram. I was like, yeah. Now Dick Jones out of prison, got a nice suit on.
Of course, he's out of prison.
Still scarred up.
A couple of scratches.
Yeah, get the shit beat out of him by a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and this secretary here is the real life Mrs. Kurtwood Smith, actress Joan Perkle. But yeah, that's Kurtwood's wife. So he's like sexually harassing his wife in the scene.
It's probably the safest way to do it. Less chance of getting in trouble.
Because we're both getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's his wife, so you know.
So like, I'm getting it.
They made a deal.
I'm getting it anyway. So yeah.
They made a deal.
Yeah, we made a deal at the house.
It's not like he's harassing an extra.
That's my girl. But now the bad guys are here and discussing their plan and shit.
Snort a little cocaine just for effect.
It's never specified that it's cocaine, whatever that is, but I'm pretty
Whatever.
But it's a very good chance it is cocaine.
No, he's doing snuff because he looks like a tobacco guy.
Yeah.
Really?
He's a cyborg, you idiot. His memory is as admissible as evidence. You involved me. You're gonna have to kill it. I love how Dick is like, I don't want to do this shit. I fucked with him before. I don't want to do it again.
Did you see my face?
Yeah. He's like, your company built the fucking thing. Now I gotta deal with it.
That's my problem.
Yeah. I got time
Why don't
for
you have a
this bullshit.
self-destruct switch or something?
Yeah. Why don't you? He's busy making Director 4. He's like, okay, go ahead, go. Suit yourself. But, Delta City starts construction in 6 months. That means millions of workers out of work. That means gambling, drugs, prostitution.
The place where you're gonna make all your money.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, I guess they're gonna be friends after all.
It's surprising you never turned it around on him. Just been like, hey man, remember the time I killed that guy for you? Like, you were already an accessory, not just to the cop, but to me killing your competition.
Hey, remember that one time I killed that guy for you? Yeah, destroy it. Gonna need some heavy firepower. Got access to military weapons? We practically are the military. That's a great line.
Yeah.
Also from the original script, we practically are the military.
Look, it was a solid script to work off of.
Yes,
if you've got a good script, stuff's always going to go through changes once you're making a movie. But if you got a good script, it's something good. It's a scaffolding.
Yeah, I've read the script. It's a very good read. And like I said, the most detrimental thing apparently to it was the title, Robocop. Other than that, it's a dope script.
Now, the one thing I got to throw off here, because again, this is a great looking location, like for your money. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But going back to the realism for a second, okay, so I just saved you from just about getting killed by the cops, so I take you back to where I got you killed as a person?
Yeah.
This just has the weirdest.
I've always said that too. Like, so back to the scene of the crime again. Like, we don't exactly have good memories here together.
Yeah, she has the weirdest thought process in what she thinks.
I like how he has the shit with the pliers. He's like fixing his leg. Yeah. I think that's the rivet gun and all that shit. Yeah. I brought you some food, some baby food.
Yeah, because that's what they had him. What's his name? The other guy eating the baby food before, like applesauce.
Tastes like baby food. He's so happy.
That right there is crazy too, and he's putting the drill to his head.
Oh man, yeah, but then you see why he's putting the drill to his head. It's like, oh, that makes sense. But like, ugh, it's so cool. Like, and then like, it's obviously to everybody. Now this is a good indicator to the audience. Like, yeah, freaking like, about to see some shit. Mm-hmm. But he says you may not like what you're about to see. And then there's a big debate here that the chin guard disappears and there's no explanation for it.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, it does.
It's just the top.
And it's gone. See, chin guard's gone. You don't see it drop down or nothing. It's just gone. All his neck protection is gone.
But it's an overhead look, so maybe it does drop down and you just didn't see it.
Yeah.
But you don't really see it in his neck.
Now he sees his face as Robocop for the first time. Mm-hmm. But he sees his face, but he has no memory attached to it. Mm-hmm. So it's like...
Yeah, see, this chin guard's not there at all. It's
yeah. All his neck protection is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're too busy arguing about whether or not they should have it in dark or bright lighting.
Yeah. Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to him? Mm-hmm. He looks big as hell here with the makeup, man.
Well, yeah, it's because they had to build him out so that they can make it look right.
Yeah.
Like they stretched his skin over like a robotic skeleton, essentially.
And now Lewis is explaining to him that his wife moved on and started a new life. Now, apparently in the script, she's supposed to move to like some kind of lunar colony to start over. But I love this. Like, this is Peter Weller's favorite part here where he says, I can feel them, but I can't remember them.
Well, then you've got that scar from the bullet wound to his head.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sobering moment here for Robocop. But in Detroit, pure fucking chaos. Mm-hmm. And they're still watching that stupid ass show. It's not my problem.
Buy that for $1.
He was like just bimbos and this weird little guy.
Apparently, he's recovering nicely from his head trauma with whiskey.
Yeah, look at this dude just looking at some boobs. They're just going rampant here, man. Even he's the perturbed by all the rampant crime. Like, I'm trying to watch fucking TV here, man. Motherfuckers. Might as well commit me a little crime here so I can listen to TV properly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Can't hear it with you guys screaming and yelling.
Mm-hmm. Such a stupid show. Yeah, she's for me. You know, like, hey, can I have you both? It's such a pervy little guy. Yeah, they just love this fucking show. Ooh,
ridiculous.
I'd buy that for $1. That's, you know what?
You want to go with that? I'd buy that for $1. That better than whether with pants, whether without.
That'd be a great. You should put it in there, just like kind of as a part of the description. But as far as like getting recognition to the fans, I'd buy that for $1. Let's go with that. Yeah, the 6000 SUX.
Oh hey, how did Joe Cox come back? We watched him get shot.
Yeah, he said he didn't get shot. The
He
Asian
got shot and he went off the.
The Asian dude got shot, and when he got shot, he knocked Joe over.
Oh, I thought he got shot. And went
No, he didn't get shot. He doesn't get shot yet. He will get shot.
Well, I know he does, but it was something I always thought was a miss.
Yeah.
Now Joe would take one.
Nah. But now they break out with the Cobra assault rifle. Jesus.
All better known as a Barrett 50.
Oh my god! Just a 50 cal basically. Boom! Yeah, just a walk.
Well, 50 cal if it had like incendiary shells, I guess.
Yeah, but essentially a 50 cal.
I mean, it looks more like a 50 cal.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, in '87, this might have been before the Barrett 50 cal was even known.
Dude, look at that though.
It's more like a mini grenade launcher.
I like it. I like this. Hey, fuck you! Get your own, man. There's more for everybody. Everybody gets a fucking Cobra assault weapon. Damn.
You always gotta take the top off a fire hydrant in an '80s crime movie.
Yeah. I guess Joe recovered from Clarence blowing up his car by letting Joe blow up a bunch of shit, so he blows up a truck.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the way to do it.
Now Emil blows up a fucking nudie bar. I don't know why you had to do that though. Nudie bar didn't do nothing wrong to you. I'm just saying.
I mean they took a lot of his money over the years.
Oh, now they found Robocop at the steel mill. Back to the steel mill we go.
At least I know my way around there.
Yeah, they do. Back to the scene.
Come on, guys.
I love it. Back to the scene of the crime again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's an ugly ass car. The 6000 XUS is an ugly ass car.
Ridiculous.
It's an ugly car with really bad gas mileage. I would not buy that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's what the was it the Congress or the city councilman wanted. He wanted that car, something with leather seats and really bad mileage.
Really shitty gas mileage. Yeah. Realistically, especially out here in California, you would not buy a fucking 6000 SUX at all.
I don't think anybody should have ever bought one.
Oh, no.
Put that next to the Gremlin and the Pinto.
Yeah.
It's just a personal preference.
Or what was the other shit I got? Well, I wouldn't recall. They just stopped making them. DeLorean.
Yeah, the DeLorean has got an interesting look to it. I think you were going to go for an Aztec, Pontiac Aztec.
Yeah. But the DeLorean just like it's cool looking, but it's impractical because of the gold wing doors.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, if that's the case, then you should never get a what do you call it?
Lamborghini or Maserati.
Well, the Maserati's got normal doors.
Yeah. This is another bonding moment between Lewis and RoboCop / Murphy. Yeah. But she's helping him target. He's targeting.
Like she even has any idea what he's seeing.
I love that he just interrupted her sleep just to fucking shoot her some guns, shoot her some baby shit.
Hey, you know what? She got killed.
Exactly. You got me killed. Fuck your sleep.
Yeah, seriously. It's like you're gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah, you got me killed, and now you got my head messed up because you got me thinking of somebody else.
Seriously. So you're gonna get up when I get up.
So fuck your sleep.
Apparently, the steel mill is a long way from downtown because they left in the middle of the night, and now it's morning.
And they're just not getting there yet.
Yeah.
You should leave.
I'm so surprised. The bad guys are back.
Yeah, right.
Are we in their hideout?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought they just killed us somewhere random.
Well, you remember you watching through as they murdered your friend. They had a TV down there and everything.
I know. They had bunks and shit.
Yeah.
It was obvious it's their hangout.
Yeah, I think they might come back.
I'm shocked.
I love Robocop. You should leave. Get the car.
She's like, kind of like last time? Okay, yeah.
Of course, the movie criticism, like with certain movie heroes, where it's it looks like they never reload their weapon. Mm-hmm. You just saw RoboCop reload just now.
Yeah, but he still doesn't reload enough. Although technically, since it's a new gun, who knows how many it actually is.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, now all the bad guys here got their Cobra assault rifles. Now they're looking for RoboCop. Now they itchy, and their trigger fingers are itchy. And my bad. And RoboCop distracts them real quick with a little piece of metal. Just to get their attention. Boom.
And of course, they immediately start.
Yeah, they trigger happy. Looking for me? Now Joe gets shot. Yeah, he gets shot the shit out of him. Yeah. But it's nothing compared to what's going to happen to fucking Emil. Mm-hmm. Ugh. Jesus.
Cut him off.
Cut him off. Let's go.
Leave Joe. He's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Leave Joey's dead. Now Leon blasting them. Actually, Leon Ray Wise starred in a movie that had a similar thing to RoboCop. Well, it's different but similar. Swamp Thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he was Alec Holland. Ray Wise was, and gets turned into Swamp Thing. Now here comes Emil's comeuppance. And gets knocked into a fucking vat of toxic waste. Oh. Giant vat of toxic waste, by the way. And of course, this one causes flesh and face to start melting. Now, this is
a pretty good comeuppance.
Now, this is actually Rob Boutini's homage to Rick Baker.
Yeah.
Because Rick Baker did a movie in the 70s called The Incredible Melting Man. And this is inspired by effects that Rick Baker did. So look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Can't breathe. He's like melting. Oh, my God. That's so gross here, man. Now, when you see...
beautiful.
Yeah. Now, the thing coming up here with Ray Rice and Emil, when he first sees him, that's genuine. That's the first time he actually saw Emil in the makeup. So him screaming, just, like that's real.
That's all legit.
That's legit reaction. Hellcat flipped off.
Yep.
Right here.
Help me.
Don't touch me, man. That was genuine fear from Ray Weiss.
These guys have about as good aim as any terrorist you've ever seen. Like, you ever see like those videos like terrorists taking pot shots?
Oh yeah, right here, Emil walking in the middle of the street. That was a real life dummy, and what they did was right here, boom, hit the dummy,
and it explodes.
And the thing about it is, the dummy was full of food from like props. Like from like craft services for like the last couple of days.
Ooh, that had to be so nasty.
And they just left it in the body, and that's what happened when it's all blood. It's like splattery and shit. Yeah. That was so gross.
Hey, you're not wearing any body armor. Maybe stay.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she deserves this though.
Yeah, she
all the trouble she caused in this movie, Lewis deserved to get shot. Oh yeah. Now here comes RoboCop Jesus. Walking on water. But he's like, what they made it an American Jesus, as Paul Verhoeven explains it, is a scene coming up here where he's like, I give up. And Robocop says, I'm not arresting you anymore. Oh, now he's an American.
Yep.
The American Jesus. I'm not arresting you anymore. Yeah, you kind of fucked up here, buddy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can cause me enough pain. You got to go.
See, this part always seemed like it was over the top. Why would he swing the crane when he could just shoot him? Unless he just realizes he's a shitty shot.
Yeah,
because he's still got the
targeting issue. Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean with
Clarence.
Yeah, with Clarence, because he's got the big gun.
True. But yeah, Leon gets the drop on him with the fucking wreckage. Boom. Fucking girders and shit falling on. Yeah, but Leon all happy, but unfortunately Lewis got to the Cobra assault rifle and bye Leon. Boom! Another big explosion. This scene right here, this is a crazy scene right here with Robocop. Look at him, he's fidgeting with the robot style and shit. And Kurtwood Smith gets the fucking little spike here. He just start going at like the music. Ding! Ding! And fucking stabs him in the chest with the shit. Ah! Damn. You know he has no parts, you feel for him. But yeah, Robocop gets his ass back. Actually, they took that part out with the piece of flesh dropping on Robocop's chest to get the R rating.
Well, I mean, you can't have everything you want.
Yeah.
It's that old Stone song.
Yeah. Can't always get what you want. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Lewis, Murphy, I'm a mess. They'll fix you. They fix everything. And you see how fucking strong Robocop is lifting the goddamn steel girder off of him.
Yeah, that shit's heavy.
Look at that.
You ever had to play with steel?
Yes, I have.
That shit sucks.
I'm from the South, so
Hey, I don't know, man. Some people have played with steel.
We play with sticks and metal and shit, so yeah.
Dude, those steel girders, that's some heavy shit.
Yes, sir. And Dick Jones still confident, like, we got an Air 209 watching the building right now. Okay. You see the Air 209, the articulating Air 209 because of twist, see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't forget earlier, motherfucker. Robocop just looking at him, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Robocop hits his ass with the Cobra assault weapon, and yeah, boom. He should have did a Rambo style, like from the hip.
Little hip shot.
Little hip shot, man. I like the tripod thing or whatever, but I think it would have been cooler.
It would have been way cool if you'd have done a hip shot.
And then just drop the fucking gun on the thing and just roll in there. Yeah. With the fucking the little turning thing for Air 209. Like it's drunk, yeah.
Dude, it's straight up like
in the twitch.
It's like an at.
Yeah. Yeah, like
when it's been blown up and what was it, Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, with the legs.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 yeah. And we're gonna meet every new challenge with the same aggressive attitude. Boom, here come RoboCop. I love this scene, man. Mm-hmm. It's so great.
Oh, it's killer! It's a great climax.
Yeah, but it's really that RoboCop hero moment. Mm-hmm. Dick Jones is wanted for murder. Look, this thing is a violent mechanical psychopath. My program will not allow me to apprehend an officer of this company. Mm-hmm. It's very serious charges, young man. What is your evidence? He keeps talking like he's a kid. Mm-hmm. Very serious charges. What is your evidence? He's with the spike and the confession. Everything has a spike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. He just doing it on playback. Johnson all pissed off. He killed my friend.
That was my buddy.
That was my buddy.
We're gonna ride this thing to the top together.
Yeah. When RoboCop goes to the original RoboCop gun, the Desert Eagle, and holds the old man hostage. I want a chopper now. I want to roam to the roof with my hostage. And if I try to stop me, yo geezer gets it. This is so cool, man.
I love it when he finally puts it together. He's like, oh yeah, if I fire him.
Yeah. The old man
It takes him a second. He's like, what do I do?
Dick, you're fired. Shh. Thank you. Take him down, RoboCop. Boom. You done, bruh.
Johnson's all excited. He's like, yeah.
And the dummy with the two long arms.
Yeah.
Actually, Paul Verhoeven was wondering if this moment was going to work, but then he went to a shooting. Like he went to a theater with an audience, and he saw that all the audience was saying Murphy before old boy got it out. He's like, yeah, this works. Yeah. Nice shooting, son. What's your name? RoboCop turns around. Murphy. With a smile, and that's how you end your movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how you end up with RoboCop too.
That's right, Murphy. Directed by Paul Verhoeven. Huh? Mm-hmm. Let's give it a clap, man. Come on. We love RoboCop. Yeah, he's such a white guy. It's ridiculous. Stop clapping.
I need direction. Isn't it nice, this role reversal? Well, you're the one doing the directing, and I'm the one acting ridiculous.
Okay, listen, we need this. We need this for the scene. Okay, I want your motivation to be this. Your motivation is trying to be a man with rhythm. Okay.
I mean, I could use another one for safety, but we'll live with it.
Let's go with that. Do the Scorsese shit. So, what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling? All right, now we just want to finish the movie. Now, a couple quick facts, like I like to do about RoboCop. Now, in '88. This is actually the first Orion release to premiere on Showtime. The very first one. And also was the very first Orion release to be premiere on HBO.
Okay.
So now RoboCop was actually released in America on July 17, 1987. The movie was obviously a commercial and critical success. It grossed over $8 million its opening weekend and went on to gross over $53 million in its entire domestic run, making it the 16th most successful movie of 1987. Now, its estimated budget was $13 million. Now, this movie is, of course, received well by critics and actually was considered by many sites to be one of the best films of 1987. And it also currently has a rating of a percentage rating of 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. Good for them.
Which is, hey, I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, and also RoboCop was also nominated for the Academy Awards for film editing and for sound, and it won the Academy Award for sound effects editing.
As it should have. It was killer.
Exactly. Now, Entertainment Weekly actually named RoboCop the 14th greatest action movie of all time. In 2008, the movie was selected by Empire Magazine in the 500 greatest movies of all time, and also was put on the list of the best 1,000 movies ever made by the New York Times. It was actually on the ballot for AFI's 100 Years, 100 Thrills, and it was on AFI's top 10 list of the best films of the different classic genres. RoboCop was a candidate for science fiction. And British director Ken Russell says that RoboCop is the best science fiction film since Fritz Lang's Metropolis, which was actually a big influence on this movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Now, it eventually spawned its own franchise, including merchandise, 2 sequels, a couple of TV series,
and a remake
movie, 2 animated series, a TV miniseries, several video games, a numerous amount of like comic book adaptations and crossovers, most notably RoboCop versus Terminator, which I would love to see as a movie. But in terms of the actual movies that came after it, RoboCop 2 came out in 1990, June 22nd. RoboCop 3 came out in November of 93. RoboCop, the reboot, came out in 2014, February timeframe. And then they had, like I said, 4 TV series made from it. RoboCop the series in 94. RoboCop Prime Directives in 2001. And then they had the aforementioned RoboCop animated series done by Marvel Productions in 88. And they did another cartoon, RoboCop Alpha Commando, which actually of the shows, all the different shows here, apparently RoboCop Alpha Commando had the longest run. So, but yeah, that's all the notes I got on it.
Dude, I wish there was something I had that you didn't, but as per usual,
I come prepared, man.
You got me beat, man.
But on a personal note,
oh wait, I do have one more.
What?
Apparently, when they did the home video release, Richard Nixon was actually paid $25,000 to help promote it.
Yeah,
and he donated his money to Boys and Girls Club.
Oh yeah, and
there you go. I have one you didn't.
And then they actually had a person dressed up as RoboCop in a very awful costume. I remember that now. There's a picture of it online. Look up Richard Nixon and RoboCop.
It's fantastic.
A couple other weird RoboCop appearances. RoboCop appeared on the Capital Carnage pay-per-view for WCW in the 90s, where he was pro wrestler Sting's tag partner, RoboCop. It was RoboCop and Sting versus the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair and all this. And also, most recently, RoboCop was one of the many people picked to be Colonel Sanders for KFC.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Hell yeah. And of course, I've been different Robo ripoffs, like Urkelbot on fucking Family Matters was a RoboCop ripoff. You know, say different shit like that. Like, I love RoboCop. Like I said, on a personal note, the first time I ever actually saw it was when my family didn't have like Showtime all the time. So like Showtime would have like a free weekend, every year or whatever.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, and like during that time frame, for some reason, RoboCop will always show up.
Because it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a very good one. So, like, of the movies, I actually watched both of the sequels before I actually watched the original. And so I knew of them. I knew of the original. The only reason I knew of the storyline of the original because of the fact that my junior high school actually had a RoboCop video game in our lobby of the gym. Like when you weren't playing basketball, like I wasn't. So you go into the lobby, you play video games. They had the fucking X-Men arcade game.
Okay,
they had WWF Superstars, and they had the RoboCop game. And you just play those things all day. So get your little 50 cent, get a honey bun, get you some Sprite, and play fucking video games. The
RoboCop game and the Terminator video game. Those are 2 hour, and Area 51. Those were the shooter games. Yeah. When I was a kid. Yeah, and of course, RoboCop versus Terminator. They've done it in a video game. They've done it in a comic book. And it's only a matter of time before they do it as a movie. You know, 2017's remake did all right. It did all right in terms of box office.
It was 2014.
Was it 14?
Yeah.
I got mixed up on the years. But anyway, the recent one, it did well enough. There's a good chance they could do Terminator.
I rewatched the reboot a couple while ago. It's not a bad movie. Like, my biggest criticism about the movie, like I told people when I first saw it, is that it was named RoboCop.
Yeah.
If this was named something else, everybody would be like, this is a dope-ass movie. But like because of the fact it's RoboCop, there's a certain expectation that comes with it.
And never meets it.
Just
Like with Total Recall.
Just like with all the other reboots. Like you see the original, like is this as good as the original? No, and it wasn't. But like in terms of like how the suit looks, like the suit itself is actually a big inspiration to me for Black Star.
Okay,
there's a big inspiration for that particular suit. I thought it looked so great, and freaking like I say, it looks cool. Like they do the original look of the robot. They do one that's like an original RoboCop look, but the one they use most throughout the movie is like the all black version. So yeah, and it looked cool. Again, the only detriment against this movie. Because it had good effects, it had good weapons stuff in it.
It just wasn't what everyone was expecting.
The story was okay, but like I said, the biggest detriment of this movie is called RoboCop. But it's not a bad movie.
So, well, I'll buy that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1. And with that note, we're going to go ahead and knock out this podcast for this week. We're going to sit here and discuss what we're going to be doing next week amongst ourselves, but you guys will find out soon enough. But this has been Dropping That Culture with JD and AJ. I'm JD.
And I'm AJ.
We'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
Dropping that culture. 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 Dropping that culture.